Cheers to episode
Cheers.
138.
138.
Coffee.
Is that swamp juices?
Oh my god.
It does look like swamp juice.
I have water from a filter.
Oh, just kick off the show, Grant, before you say anything. I just got the best news today around. Hold on, give me a second.
Let me
I
guess.
gotta check the time
Is the
stamp.
time important?
Is this
Yes,
a troll bit?
absolutely.
We're going to talk about like Connor
Nope,
Stallions?
I got
or
the
is this legit?
greatest news of all time today at 3:06 p.m.
And it was Eastern time?
He said my
Eastern
name
time.
first too, so that makes me think I'm supposed to know.
No, that's just before you get started your host duties. Deer Camp is on.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah, I know that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Deer Camp is on.
Wow. That is great news.
It
might
made me
come.
so happy on the inside.
We
It
talked
made
about
me
that on Saturday,
So
didn't we?
happy. Yeah, and I was like, I don't
Yeah,
think it's
I was-
happening.
You're like, he said, because you had said by now there would have been a text, and there hasn't
Yes.
been a text yet.
I mean,
Boom.
I guess, Evan, I could have texted you last Thursday,
Yeah.
Oh,
like
thanks,
I was
man.
supposed to, but Lou said he was going to text you, so
He did.
and I was like, I'll just let him do that.
Dude, made me so happy. So happy.
There's an actual chance I go. Unlimited time off, so
And you probably won't work that following Monday, or you won't work that Friday either. So you're really only
No.
taking 2 days off.
yeah. The only thing is I'd have flights back-to-back weeks, which is a lot.
On Thanksgiving.
Wait.
Yeah, Thanksgiving's the next week, but
Boost those miles,
I'll-
Alex, so you get a free trip. In the future, Alex will thank past Alex for traveling so much.
When you said you might make it, I almost slipped out of that's bad news for deer, but then I realized you're not going to kill any anyway, so it really doesn't change.
Grant, that's incredibly disrespectful because my deer kill count is 2 and yours is 0 and Evan's is 0. So
Yeah.
more than you, dude. And even if I
My-
did kill one,
my
I
deer
can't
count
take it
is
on the
actually-
Delta plane back to Houston. So
My deer count's actually 1, Alex.
oh yeah,
Car.
poor escape.
Yes.
I would love to see Alex just carrying a dead deer over his shoulder through an airport.
Yeah, can I take this through security? So yeah,
All right.
what
That's
are we
great
talking
news.
about on today's show? Question mark.
Tonight is, let's set the
Come on,
scene
Grant,
first.
do your bit.
Tonight
do your
is
bit.
Monday, October 23rd. It's 2023. The time is 7:40 p.m., 6:40 Central Time. Alex, somehow he survived Game 7 traffic. He thought it was going to be the end of the world this morning.
Dude,
Turns out,
everyone was freaking out about it. We got an email, a staff-wide email. Leave at 5:30. No later. Like you have to leave.
but this
I
is
was
the
like,
same
holy
people
Shit.
that close down work when it rains, so that's to be expected.
No, there.
If it snows, you guys
there's
are-
a deeper
it's over.
reason. If it snows, the city of Houston's not going to make it. These people are not prepared for that.
Alex made it. What are we going to talk about today?
There it is. That's what I was looking for. You'd ask
We're
the
gonna-
question out loud.
Weekly recap for sure. I pulled up the wrong document.
I found a mistake in this. I found a mistake.
What? Oh no, the previews Lions versus Ravens. Thank you, Evan.
Nope.
Raiders.
I don't even need to look at that anymore.
We're gonna recap the NFL. We're gonna start with Lions Ravens first, as opposed to big picture thoughts, and then we'll go to big picture thoughts. Then we'll recap the NCAA, Michigan versus MSU, then big picture thoughts. Red Wings, because of Evan's nice hat, we're gonna talk about the Red
Sticks
Wings.
and
hot
pucks, baby.
start.
Sticks and pucks.
And MSU versus Minnesota and Lions versus Raiders. I guess Michigan will be a whole new part of this now that we'll do at some point, either in the recap of the game or big picture. We'll do big picture takes NCAA about Michigan and this news that dropped today, but then we have to call a
All
180.
this show should really be about is Urban Meyer and the death penalty.
Or also Urban Meyer could be worked into the big picture takes as well. Yeah, welcome in. Buckle up. Number one all-around sports show in the state of Michigan. Alex, you start with what you did from Sunday, October 15th.
Sunday.
15th. Weekend and a
8
day.
days ago.
Monday I did not work.
Yes.
Company holiday. Tuesday through Friday, or Thursday, I should say, or Tuesday through Friday work hours was work. Didn't do anything fun. Friday, I went to a bar and watched the Astros game after work. It's like a happy hour type of work deal. The bar was called Truck Yard.
Truck Yard.
Had a Ferris wheel.
Inside of it.
What do you mean?
It's an outdoor bar.
I
And a
already hate
Ferris
this.
wheel.
It's like America Park. I don't need kid attractions at a man's game.
It's all the like tables were like made
Truck
from
yard?
like old trucks.
Evan, you definitely rode the Ferris wheel as a kid.
It looked like a truck.
Don't try to
Rode it
be cool.
once.
This Ferris wheel was not in use, so like I don't
Truck
think
ride.
people are hopping on this thing.
Bar.
I'm all over this too.
Truck Yard.
Oh, I wrote truck ride. LOL.
I know. I heard you spelling it out.
Ooh, I
loud.
like that outdoor patio
In
setup. It
Houston?
looks sick.
No, Evan.
Yeah.
Different
Well, there's one in
country.
Dallas and Colony,
Yes,
Texas,
Houston.
and Fort Worth. And truck
Yes,
yards for
Houston.
sale. Truck yard
Houston.
safety rules? Oh.
Oh, did you eat this?
And
Come as you
Just
are, beer
drink.
garden, an adult playground. Well, how
What in the
playground are we
copy?
getting?
well, I would say it's an
Rose
accurate
Grub
description.
Tunes.
Oh, you can't copy and paste in there. What was your strategy? Because work happy hours. You don't want to be the drunkest guy there.
Right.
What was your game plan?
My thought process was just get a beer when everyone else does,
Smart.
and everyone just kept getting beers. So I was like, I'll just
Did you
keep getting
sit
them
in
too.
sand, Alex?
No,
Is your
sit
table at
in
where?
sand.
No,
And I
but like
hate
your
sand.
feet. Yeah, but
Sure.
this looks like there's sand on this advertisement.
No, I didn't eat that, Grant. I didn't eat anything.
I mean, look at that.
Wow, that's diarrhea waiting to happen. But so yeah, they had a lot of like their beer selection was all like Texas beers.
Oberon.
No, nope,
Two hearted.
no. Unfortunately, I don't. No one knows what Too Hard it is here. It's very
Sparty
depressing.
party.
Yeah, they had that.
Had myself one
Anyways,
this weekend.
so lots of exotic beers. I tried a couple. Couldn't tell you what they were called, I'll be honest. But one of them, I think, Grant, you had been a fan of, more on the, lighter side,
Delicious side.
girly type side. Yes. And then the game, well, it happened to be like the best game of the playoffs probably so far. So it's electric to watch that with a bunch of
The
Astros
Diamondbacks
fans.
one that I watched looked sick.
I don't know, man. Just a home run, a massive home run pimp job. And then he
The
gets hit
Altuve
by
one.
that game, yes. So
Oh,
the
that
Rangers
seemed
dude
cool,
who
yeah.
hit the bomb, then they hit him and they pretend they didn't intentionally hit him. Then there's a brawl. Then he's ejected. The pitcher's ejected, and then all that for Altuve to come up and hit a game.
This all happened? Was this game 5
Yes.
or 6?
5.
I'm going to have to go watch this
Game
on
7.
YouTube.
Bill Simmons tweeted it was the best baseball game he's watched in 20 years.
Do we care about Bill Simmons' opinion?
I like Bill Simmons. He's a nice guy.
Oh. My
He
bad.
knows a lot about history, but now I gotta start. Now I'm just thinking about baseball games. No. The World Series game between the Dodgers and the Astros is one of the best baseball games. It's better than that game, 100%.
Also, the Cubs Indians World Series game was very good too.
Yes, you could also argue we're on the bad end of it, but the Big Poppy home run
I
was
would have
electric.
to reread the tweet. Maybe we didn't say that is specific. He just said it was a great game at a
It's
minimum.
not even
I
the
know.
best
I remember
Astros
that.
game. Okay,
Well, you should go back and watch the highlights. It was pretty electric.
I will.
I mean, Astros Yankees. Altuve's walk off against Aroldis Chapman.
I did tell
Also good.
some coworkers that I was in Rick's for that. Yeah,
Yes. Never forget.
electric moment. So yeah, and then left there roughly like 8 p.m. And then I went to another bar because a I guess friend of a friend, I would describe them as. Asked me to go to a bar with them. So went to a place called Buffalo Bayou Brewing Company. It's like a 3-level bar.
Oh,
and then the third floor is like on the roof and like looks out to the city. So great. The
ceiling is the roof.
Not downtown though.
Nope, definitely downtown.
Inside joke.
Definitely downtown view. So that was cool. Same concept as the last bar with the beers. It's just all Texas beers. You're not really getting anything else.
No Bud Light.
I didn't see Bud Light.
No Corona.
I didn't see domestics at all.
Corona?
Just no. I'm telling you.
That's such like a bullshit Texas thing where they think they're like the most important state in the union, so it's only their beer.
Yeah, it was. I mean, maybe if I asked someone, they'd like pull it out of a different fridge I couldn't see, but like I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
Imagine if Michigan was like, "Oh, we're not going to serve you a Molson or a Labatt because you're not in the right country."
It was a brewery, so like, I mean, if you went to TBC, can you get domestics there? Probably not. So
no, you can't.
Fair point. Fine. Fair point.
Relax, Grant. So that was fun for the most part. And then Saturday, I played golf at Memorial Park Golf Course, which has hosted a PGA Tour event in recent years. Who won it? Who won the event, Grant? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. But I shot 45 on the front, rusty. And then I shot 1 under on the back, birdied 16 and 18. So pretty cool. So I shot 80. Greens were fast. Greens were pretty nice. Course was pretty wide open. So once I figured that out about hole 6, I just started pulling driver and just launching, just hitting it as hard as I could. And I would never be in trouble.
Tony Finau won there in 2022.
Well, there you go.
Well,
Jason Kokrak in 2021.
Well, the front 9 Alex is not making the cut.
No, I would have to have my back 9 being my first 9 and then keep it going. No I don't even know if I'd make the cut at 1 under. Probably not. But yeah, putter got rolling on the back, so that was fun. And then watched pitiful. Just a casual little made putt on 16 and 18, just like because others in the group were like, "Yeah, man, that was sweet." I was like, "Yeah." Then I watched a pitiful. Well, then I got a fat Chipotle order after that because I was starving. So I really went all out. Bowl, side tortilla, chips and queso. Just went for it.
What kind of meat?
Steak.
Oh, carnitas, dude. Come on.
Never had.
What?
Never had carnitas. That's just like shredded pork.
It's just like pulled pork, but Mexican version. It's so good. Oh my God, Alex.
Then I watched a pitiful night of college football. Sunday, I did diddly dip. Just did some laundry. Like I didn't leave my apartment. And I have no groceries because I refuse to go on Sunday. I have if I legitimately got up and showed you what I have 2 packs of ready rice, oatmeal,
carbs.
That's it.
Carb loading.
That's all I have.
Big carbs.
That's literally all I have.
That's the eligible single bachelor life. I mean, that's just on par.
Yep. So that was my weekend.
Hell yeah. Evan, I think we should double team ours. You go first, though, in terms of anything before the tailgate. Don't get to the tailgate yet, and then I'll see what I have, and then we can do tailgate together.
Okay. Middle school football game Tuesday, last home game.
Win.
Adrian.
No. 7th grade had a rough first half. Played really well in the second half. Came up short. And then 8th grade, nothing went well. Nothing went well for the 8th grade game. So that left a bad taste in my mouth on Tuesday night.
Kind of the opposite of the week before?
Complete 180, yes.
Yeah. Shout out me for remembering.
They're just kids.
Then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, nothing much. Shout out to Ryan. He shot a deer on Wednesday.
Didn't know he hunted.
My father, Alex.
Yeah, I know.
How many points?
Oh, wow. That's going to be a slap in his face.
Nah, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
How many points? Good one? Oh. Down goes Evan. Evan, welcome in. Special guest Evan.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
back.
Testing.
That sounds crispy.
Good. Thursday, Friday, men's night, football, beer, sports.
Oh, yeah, men's night. I forgot.
Yep. I look forward to that every single Thursday.
Boys Club.
Boys Club. Exclusive club. And then Friday went up to Michigan State, hit the Riviera Cafe.
Nice.
Before I went to the Riviera Cafe,
I honestly thought you guys were at Muck's. Big
I thought you were at Reno's or Crunchies.
I mean, I just randomly glanced at it and I was like, oh, they're at Muck's. Good for them. Totally
I went
forgot
to
they played Michigan.
Reno's for dinner. That wasn't supposed to go there first. The restaurant that we were supposed to go to, 75-minute wait. We said absolutely not. Went to Reno's East.
Where'd you go? Hopcap?
Nope. Oh, God, what was it called?
BJ's? Boston's?
It's right next to the Front 43 over there by Skyview, Alex. Cask Company.
Oh, yeah. I've heard really good things about that. Cask & Co.
I ate there.
Marissa's talked about that.
Co. Yep. I ate there with Luke Wilkins and I think McCrape there before.
I've heard that place is really good.
I have never heard of it.
I wasn't dressed up for it. Everybody in there was dressed like it was a 5-star New York City penthouse restaurant, and I was in a sweatshirt and sweatpants, and I was like, "Wow."
They serve Miller Lite. I don't think it's that
Correct.
fancy.
It's correct. Everybody
Texas bars don't serve Miller Lite.
And then Friday. Okay. Reno's East is the most dysfunctional, unorganized restaurant I've ever been a part of.
It's dog shit, to put it lightly. It's not a nice place.
Don't they host the coach shows?
Yes.
It's weird. I'm not sure why.
You walk in and everybody's just doing whatever they want to the tables. The tables are not organized properly.
The way you said that.
Spanking the tables.
Everybody is just kind of doing whatever they want. There's no pattern of the tables. You know what I mean? How every restaurant's be all right, there's a section here. You have no idea.
So the servers get lost. They don't know where to bring the food.
There's a private section blocked off.
From Mel and Brenda.
Don't cut that.
I'm not.
And then, so we try to sit down at a table. Sit down at the smallest table. And we're like, nope. So we sat at the bar. And there was live music because the jazz player...
At Reno's.
Live music. And let me
tell
tell you,
this rating in my power rankings.
This guy on the saxophone could play a sax. He could sax it up.
Whoa.
It was him and his wife's 50th maybe wedding anniversary or something. That's why they were playing live music. They were solid. They were all right. And then we went to the Riv. I really wanted to go to Crunchies and sing karaoke. But we need
You wanted to go sing karaoke?
Yes. Yes. I was going to go Crunchies and I was going to sing Nickelback.
Oh, that makes sense.
I wasn't.
I mean, last time I was out at the bars,
I was going to get
grooving and dancing on tables at the Riv, so I think karaoke's on brand.
Good point. Forgot about that.
Friday. That was Friday night. I was so exhausted by Friday. I was out of the Riv at 11 o'clock. I was like, I'm done.
Smart.
Woke up early, got a nice breakfast at Leo's again.
So
I was
disgusting.
stunned that when I got there, Alex, that they'd already gone to Leo's. I was like, "Do you guys wake up at 6 a.m. to get
Yes,
to Leo's?"
that's what they made me do.
6:50. Alarm is set for 6:50. You're sitting down in the booth at 7 o'clock.
No one's there except the same 7 people, 2 cops.
And it's so nice. It's
It is.
nice.
It's early
nice.
morning diarrhea. That's what it is.
It's nice. And then
I
2
actually-
hours,
Yeah, sorry. What? Finish it. But I have one take.
and then 2 hours
on
later,
the
tailgate
weekend.
started.
Yeah, that's the part I have a question about. You guys seem to be at it bright and early for a 7 o'clock game or 7:30 game. I
My
mean, you
first
guys
beer
were
that I cracked was at 9:42.
like, no wonder like people were dead at 6 p.m. and 5 p.m. Like, you guys started early.
I think
That's
I
That's
waited
the time that we were told to get there.
I waited maybe 17 minutes, and I was like, "Evan, I can't let you be the only one drinking." And I got back to high noon shortly after
When I was because what, it was 8:45 for me.
Central Time.
I was just laying there. I was like, oh, they're probably just like slow moving this morning. You get a Snapchat, beers are already open. I'm like, Jesus Christ, the game's in 12 hours, guys. You need to chill out.
Well, the
But-
morning was the best weather. The sun was actually out in the morning.
And then I texted
Yeah.
for a vibe check, and you said it was miserable, and that was like at 4 p.m.
It's the weather.
There was a
It's
lull.
raining.
There was a lull
There was,
there for a
yeah, we
while.
kept talking about the lull.
There was a
There had
big
to be
lull. As soon
one.
as
Because you
As
guys
soon as,
started
like,
too
the-
early.
Penn State, Ohio State game got done, and then
I
you're
was
getting
like, what
towards
do you do for that whole next
4:30
stretch of
till, like,
games?
Oh my god! You
We
don't
couldn't
do
watch
anything.
Tennessee, Alabama. We could only watch like 10 minutes of it
couldn't watch the second half.
because YouTube TV didn't get it.
I mean, I just couldn't believe how early you guys were going. I knew that there was going to be some troubles. To keep
I
that
remember
energy.
waking up at like here in Rochester at like 6. And I was like just so tired. And I was like, there's 13 hours until kickoff. Why am I awake? Like, I don't need to be in this mindset.
And you
I
weren't
didn't
even
really do
in
much.
East Lansing, Evan. Evan woke up that early in East Lansing.
I woke up that early.
Yeah.
I wasn't even awake yet.
Yeah.
My alarm went. Well,
You guys were probably
was waking
nighty
up-
night by like midnight.
I was asleep. Well, I was asleep, and then I was woken up to the other people coming home, being loud and obnoxious.
Who's the other people? And where were they?
Jason, Ryan.
Jason rallied after what I saw.
No, Friday night.
Oh, I'm talking about Saturday
Saturday
night
night.
bedtime.
He did
Oh,
rally.
Saturday night bedtime. I was in bed. I was sleeping
Oh,
by 11. I laid down and it was like 10:37, and I was up ready to start my Sunday at 8 o'clock. I was wide awake.
I was.
Well, yeah,
I
I
was
mean, you went to
fighting
bed at
sleep
10:30.
Saturday.
I know, it was fantastic.
All right, we should do the tailgate.
Well, it was Marissa's birthday.
Wednesday was Marissa's
And
birthday.
you played
Grant.
trivia.
Yeah, but we sell. Okay, that's a good point because we celebrated the weekend before, so yes, we did the celebrations early. We did go to do trivia at Freddy's Bar, in
Freddie,
Clawson.
shout out Freddie.
It was fun. I got a
Did you
couple
win?
right. I think people cheat.
Marissa
but
told me Grant's great at trivia, even though his daily doesn't. Performance daily is not great.
I pulled a couple. There was one about like what is the biggest pass like gap in the Appalachian Mountains between like
Cumberland Gap.
Yep, nailed it.
Why do
But I only knew that because of the
Darius
song.
Rucker sings about it.
100%.
And Wagon
I was like,
Wheel.
if it ties to music, I was like, it has to be that.
Never picked that up.
Okay.
Bullshit though. There was no sports categories the whole night, so my strengths weren't even played to. They had an Olympics category, which is not sports, so I didn't get.
Well,
I
it
couldn't
is.
help at all. Well, it's not. I said that too, and someone was like, "Think about how much effort they put." I was like, "Not sports."
You didn't tell someone that.
I did. There was like 3 other people there, and I was like, "Well, Olympics is not really sports." And they're like, they were joking, like, "Imagine telling the athletes." I was like, "Yeah, no, I would. It's just that it's not important.
I mean, Grant, basketball's an Olympic sport.
They're amateur athletes. I mean, what do you want me to say? They can't even make
Basketball
money
is
off
an
it.
Olympic sport. Flag football is an Olympic sport.
Those were funny memes. I saw
Golf
those.
is an Olympic sport, Grant.
But like Olympics is not
Hockey
sports.
is an Olympic sport.
Actually,
like
no.
Yes.
Pony
Didn't play in
show.
the. Well, the
Yes,
NHL
it
players
is.
did not play. NHL
They-
players did not play in the Olympics, so
But they
amateurs
have.
were playing
They have plenty of times.
because Gary Bettman's a piece of shit.
Wrestling.
Correct. Okay.
Is an Olympic sport.
No, it got canceled.
Oh.
You're
That's a tougher
reading off the
subject.
Wikipedia entry of events.
No, I'm not
and
reading off
changing
of
my
anything.
mind.
I'm just telling you, like, whatever comes to my head. Track and field, Olympic sport.
But
Skeet shooting, Olympic
what
sport.
I mean is if someone's like, oh, this is the sports category and you put the Olympics, that's bullshit. That's not like
You're just stupid.
no, it's a different class of athletic event.
It's the
anyways, that was
World
fun.
Games.
They suck. They're not fun to watch. You're good with
Oh,
Michael Phelps.
come
That's it.
on.
I
Beijing
haven't
was
watched it.
electric.
That's the Michael Phelps show. That's it.
Oh,
That's it. That was the peak.
you don't cheer on
Everything
United
else-
States hockey in the Winter Olympics?
I watched the Oshie shootout.
You're such a piece of shit. You're not even an American.
Half the time they're on at 7 a.m. or they're on tape delays. You already know who won. It's a terrible event.
Well, it's in LA
Olympics
next
suck.
time, so well, it's in Paris actually, but then it's in LA in 2028. So
That'll
what's
be
your-
cool because we'll be on the same schedule.
That would be cool that we're on the same schedule.
That'll be cool.
But you guys won't
No,
be
it's-
because it'll be Pacific times. It'll be 3 hours later. So
But
Evan will be
I'll be
asleep
honest.
when the games start.
Like
Primetime
Tigers
games,
baseball
Evan's
on.
out cold.
I'd rather watch Tigers baseball than the Olympics.
You won't
100%.
because the Tigers
In
will be an
2028 we
expansion
will.
franchise.
In
and they'll be
2028, we
sold.
will want to watch Tigers baseball.
We hope so. That's probably what we said 7 years ago about 2023.
Let me think about my day.
No,
Saturday,
7 years
woke up-
ago, we were 2014. We were in the ALDS against the Baltimore Orioles.
Yeah, we probably thought for sure we'd be good in 2023.
Take that
In
back.
fact,
That's not
you just
my
wouldn't make
math
the
is not
playoffs
adding
again.
up. No, my,
Yeah,
that
that's
was
9 years ago, Evan. But
Yeah, my math is not adding up.
Either
2016, that was the
we haven't made the
year-
playoffs since
that
2014.
was the fire sale year. I think 2016 was a fire sale year where we traded everybody and didn't get anybody in return.
We haven't made the
was.
playoffs since 2014. Carry
I
on.
worked for Fox Sports Detroit.
That was a one
And we
last ride
traded
year.
JD.
Yeah, fake job in your basement. I remember it.
I had to go to the games.
Oh,
I did get buzzed on a couple nights on away games. Don't tell my boss.
I know. I was with you.
Woke up super early, picked up some Twisted Teas for our friend Colby. Had to double check how early you're allowed to buy booze in Michigan. Turns out 7 a.m. is the cutoff. I barely made it. I got there at like 7:05 and bought the booze.
I have a question that just hit me.
yeah.
Why are you buying booze for Colby?
Yeah, he's
He
21,
texted me.
dude.
He was like, if you're stopping?"
Did he know
Were
there's a
you
CVS
stopping?
like a block from
foot
his
away
I
house?
from
don't want to.
Or
tell
like
him, I don't
20
know.
liquor stores
There's a
around
party
his
store
house.
a block from his house.
He
I
has
was
a
more
car. Like what?
I was.
Why would you do that for him?
I don't want him to feel bad because I was more than happy to.
He doesn't listen to
But-
the show.
I think he assumed I was stopping in the morning. I had already done all my shopping for the tailgate right after work on Friday. So he texted me like 8 p.m. that night. And I was like, yeah, I'll stop because I have to get gas. But I had already shopped for the tailgate. I just walked into the store to get it because I was getting gas at Meijer anyways. But yeah, it was out of my way.
I sent the tweet, Grant, from Bill Simmons, by the way.
Thank you.
Decade.
The drive to East Lansing was awesome. All the leaves changing, the sun was out, early morning, just listening to different songs to get me ready for the day. And then a divine intervention. I did have to make an emergency pit stop at the rest area
Again?
before the emergency exit.
You've stopped there so many times. It's like
Well,
clockwork.
because I got a number 7 from McDonald's breakfast, which is 2 sausage burritos, a
Dirty, dude.
hash brown,
All your
and
choices.
a coffee.
That's such a
Well,
bad
Alex,
choice.
You have to have something when you drive that you can hold on to easy, not like a big McMuffin.
I'm eating McMuffin. I'm shoving it down my gullet while I'm driving.
I'm getting
I'm
a
struggling
McMuffin
through
or I'm
it.
getting a sausage McGriddle and I'm just greasing myself up.
That would have been worse. Than
Just
the-
grease on my cheeks like Patrick Starr.
The fuck?
Oh yeah, when they're out
You
in
ever
the
see-
wilderness,
You ever-
the magic conch. Yeah, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's disgusting.
It's super funny.
So divine intervention. We decide skate park. Alex, to your advice. I don't think I told you this, Alex, because I was scrambling on this car ride.
The skate park's
So
never
Col-
failed, and you're going to tell me that this week it did.
Just listen. Get ready for this ride. Colby texted me, hey, just a heads. I'm like half hour out. Colby's like, hey, just a heads up. Joe tried to park at the skate park last night, completely full. And I was like, oh, God.
That would have been my only question.
So I'm like, oh, we had talked about lot 89. I was like, oh, lot 89, easy. I'm thinking though, like, trying to figure out where it's at. So I type in MSU parking, game day parking. And they're like, lot 89 is now $20 to public park, and it's not going to open until 11 a.m. because it's a night game. And I was like, oh God, I can't even get into the lot that I'm thinking of.
I have grandparents. You could have parked there.
I consult with Marissa and Dale and Betty. I consult with Evan and Colby and Ryan. And we threw out, try skate park first and foremost, just in case. Try East Lansing High School, or you can park near Charles Street.
Who told you East Lansing High School?
Evan. He suggested that.
I think that's
so. Watch your mouth.
Fat ticket waiting.
No, that's where people tailgate parked all the time.
Yeah, if you get it's a pay for lot on game days.
That was not news to me, but
I mean, it was close to the guy's house and the girl's house. It's that direction.
True.
And then there was another option, like if you find a spot near the guy's house on the street, there's a number you can call and say like you're parking all day, and you can use it like 20 times, and they'll let you. I guess is what she sent me a link to call.
I've done it,
so I was thinking about that, and it wasn't technically overnight because I was driving home. So I was like, all right, I'll figure it out. So I go to skate park, I pull in, bad vibes because if you picture right on that entrance, there's the sidewalk.
Yep.
There was a car parked on the left of the sidewalk in the grass. They just made their own parking spot at some point.
But someone pulled out right when you pulled in. That's what happened, and then you got a spot.
No, I drove back. There was a car also illegally parked in a handicap spot, so people were just breaking laws. At the very back, there was one spot in between two cars, just open.
Took you 2 hours to get in there, I'm sure.
I said, Colby, I'm in. So he comes, picks me up. We get there, walk to the tailgate.
That was so anticlimactic. All that for that.
You ruined it because you basically
because I knew because you wouldn't tell this whole story because you just didn't make it seem like the other options are real. Because you're like
that guy that watches when they watch TV shows, they just predict what's going to happen and like, oh, I already knew it was going to happen.
Nails it. Yep, that is exactly what I do.
And they suck.
It's tough being this smart. Yeah, I know.
The tailgate overall, great time. I kept making the joke that it was the best tailgate I've been to in 2 years. It was only the second tailgate I've been to in 2 years.
Oh,
but it was very good. Also got a laugh out of some people. I kept pulling the as they were saying out all the food, the Chris Berman. I was like, some spread. You got a great chuckle every time. Good pop. What else? I guess I should say thank you to the people that hosted it. That was like their parents' weekend, I would say. Everyone brought a bunch of great food. If I'm thinking like it made me think of SpongeBob with some chicken, some pasta, some roast beef. I had buffalo chicken chili dip, Chick-fil-A, white chicken bean chili. I had a meat and cheese tray.
Chili. Oof.
I mean, it was just I actually realized this, Evan, looking back, like I kind of felt not 100%, but it wasn't from booze. I just had ate so much different food that around like 5 p.m. my stomach, like I felt hungover, but it was because my stomach was just battling all the different types of food that I put in it. But I was flabbergasted when we were at the end of it. And I was like, Evan, how many people do you think were here? And he's like 70 to 80. And I was like, no way. There's just no way that number of people were in this lawn. And then we started asking the adults and other perspectives. And like at least over 50 was the consensus. So pretty close to that 60, 70, whatever you want to call it range. And it was just a sea of humanity.
It was a lot of people
just
there.
Walking
it was a lot of people.
I mean, Brett told me last night that basically 50 is what the consensus finally is for him.
Oh, I'm hammering the over on the 50 people. The peak amount of people, there was more than 50.
Because there was people inside. I didn't even consider. I didn't even consider the people inside.
I mean, I don't even know that many people.
I don't know that. I didn't know everybody at the tailgate either.
Any big takeaway thoughts from you from the tailgate?
Weather wasn't as bad as expected.
But it got bad.
True.
It never really got that bad.
Talk about the lull.
The lull is that
5 p.m. is the ideal kick time.
The lull is that we've been going at it. Well, I mean, we were still going at it.
You and Grant.
Yes, the core group was still there. But the lull is that everybody else like that was invited to the party or was invited by an invite, either left or they went to the game. So it was that whole thing like from 5:30
Could you
to
guys
6:30.
have been able to pull off a bar for the game? Like, do you think you could have kept going and went to a bar and drank and kept it
No,
going?
because I had to drive.
No,
I could have. If I was
Grant,
staying.
things aside, like,
Yes, I definitely could have.
how were
if
you
I-
feeling?
Oh, yeah.
Like, could you have like gone out?
I was sober
for the game.
When we went
and then
to
stayed
into the
out
game, we were
until-
sober.
Could you have gone
I
on a
was.
2 a.m. bar run?
No, I was so tired. My legs hurt so bad. I didn't sit down from
No chairs either, Alex. A lull. I mean, your legs just hurt.
9:30 until I
does
got into the
stink.
stadium. I didn't sit down.
That
So from 9:30 to
that stresses
7,
me out a little bit. That's a lot of
7 we
standing.
got in there like
Oh my
20 minutes left. So
My
from
hammies and
9:30 to
quads were on fire.
7:10, didn't sit down once.
Because you started so goddamn early.
Yeah, because it's a tailgate.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
last good tailgate.
I mean,
Oh,
it
the
sounds
next
like if you
home
guys
game
started
is
2
I'm gonna
hours
show
later, you
up-
might have been happier. The next
because all
home
the
game,
weather-
Blackout City, noon game, Nebraska.
Yeah, I'm going to show up. I'm going to go to Leo's at 7 o'clock, and then I'm going to walk to the stadium.
What are you going to do when we go to Detroit, Evan? You're not going to be able to go to Leo's for breakfast.
Oh, I'm going to go to another Coney Island in Detroit.
We're going to
That'd be
go
good.
drive to Detroit at 5 a.m.
And then we're
Yes.
going to tailgate all day in Detroit because it'd be a different atmosphere. It'd be in,
We are going to tailgate all day in Detroit, but I don't think we're leaving at 5 a.m. for you to go to
I know
Leo's
where we're
Coney.
going to tailgate at in Detroit.
Where?
The casino.
It's a terrible idea.
A funny line from Evan is he said multiple times throughout the day, he's like, imagine how drunk we would have had to got if it was a noon game. Like, he's like, I'm kind of glad I could pace
That is
myself.
literally the first thing I thought of when I showed up to this tailgate.
But it sounds
And I
like you
was
didn't
like-
get drunk at all.
I didn't get like hammered. I mean, I was buzzed
I was
for
not that drunk.
75% of it
Evan, you really changed your tune this season after last year's debacle.
because I got made fun of by you.
No, it was not just me.
No, those people were cheering with me. You were just making fun of me.
I didn't make fun of you. I was
Grow
just,
up, get a life.
I
get
was
a
just
job,
worried that you were going to end
peasant.
up. But I never said any of that. I was just worried you were going to end up in a prison cell. Public
No, drunkest
intoxication.
would go to Alex. This was a funny bit. It was making me die, but I felt uncomfortable and awkward. So we're standing under the tent watching the. I don't even know if Ohio State was on yet, but I never met him, and I thought he looked familiar. I was like, I don't know who he is, and he's standing next to Evan shoulder to shoulder. I'm across the table on the other side, and I said something to Evan, or I said like, "Oh, are you?" And he goes, he taps Evan, and goes, "Oh my god, do you know who that is?" And I was like, "What?" And he goes, "That's the guy from Charlotte, Michigan Sports." And I was like, "Oh, this kid's a jokester." Oh,
That is
it was
a good
funny.
bit.
It was hilarious. Also, I don't think I didn't tell anyone this. I don't know if Mitch passed it along, Evan, but this can be on. I got my Uber ride back to skate park after, and we came in the back way, I would say, from Skyview, and then we had to turn left onto Michigan Ave, or turn right, do a Michigan left to get back to skate park because it was across the way.
Yeah.
But that road's so busy that we were sitting standstill traffic at the light, and he's like, honestly, your best bet is probably just get out and walk. And I was like, yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. So like, I'll just get out, walk the sidewalk, and then go get in my car instead of waiting at this light. And I get out. Mind you, it's like 10:30 p.m. It's dark, kind of raining. Minute my foot steps outside, I just hear someone go, "Grant!" I was like, "What?" Car behind me is with his window rolled down, driving, I think, by himself.
Right?
And I was like, "What's up, Mitch?" And I was like,
What's
I don't know
up,
why, but I felt like
bitch?
I felt like I had to explain what I was doing. I was like, "Oh, I'm just getting dropped off at skate park."
Why did you feel like you needed to do that?
I just probably like, "What the hell is Grant doing here?" It's the car behind us the whole time was just Mitch.
That is funny.
It was a small world. The game, so not technically the play on the field, but one thing about Evan that I learned, it was a good lesson for me because I do this to Marissa. You got to keep up with Evan when you're walking into the game. Evan is on a mission
Bobbing and weaving.
from God, just bobbing through
Yeah,
people.
Grant,
He even
you're
looks at me.
not helping your case because you walk slow to begin with, but
No, because I do that to Marissa. When we walk in crowds, I bob and she's like behind me. Well, and I like it. But and he gave me a warning. We got close to the stadium. Evan goes, "All right, just try to keep up." He's just gone.
you warned him. Wow.
Yeah, he
You've
goes,
been
he goes,
walking
"This is gonna be
super
Because
slow.
Alex, we're coming from across the bridge, And so like all those people that are coming from like the Wells Hall area stopped at the, like that first ticket check through. And I told Grant, I was like, I'm not waiting in line, just keep up. And we're going.
The efficiency, though, that we got in, we get in, he crows left, gets a beer. We both said we had to get paper towels to dry our seats. We both walk single file into the bathroom, don't make eye contact with anyone, grab our paper towels, walk to our seats, dry them off, and we're butts in seats with like 20 minutes till kick, just ready to go. That's exactly how it happened. Other notes from it, people stood up the whole game, and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
On the way. Yes, Grant and I talked about that on the way there. Grant was like, "So, by curiously, just like,
that is
this gonna be like a stand-up game? Like, is Michigan State fans gonna stand up?" And I was like, "Dude, there's no way our section stands up.
There's no way. Anybody.
Our legs are sore. Our legs are sore.
Kickoff.
You didn't even get to sit.
They stood up the entire first half. It is 28-0 in the second quarter, and they're still standing up.
Why? Like who though?
I think I credited there was a crap ton, and when I say crap ton, I mean a crap ton of Michigan fans.
Well, it was actually insane.
You could see it on TV. I mean, you could hear the "Go Blue" chants. It was disgusting.
Yeah, that's
and
what
thank
pissed me
God.
off.
And I
The
contributed.
two next to us
gave my
were
ticket to Grant.
probably the nicest ones there. The two next to us, Evan, were the nicest
I would sit next to
guys.
that Michigan fan every single Michigan game.
Michigan State
awesome.
game.
Would you just be friends with that guy? I would just go to a Michigan game as long as I'm sitting next to that guy.
You'd go to a Michigan
Not
Iowa
arrogant.
game with him.
Yes, just humble. And I would say, what kind of bet do you have? And I would cheer for that bet. Not cheer for Michigan, but I would cheer for his bet.
Just a good guy then.
He knew I was so upset, and then I was so pissed off from the get-go. Like, why am I here, basically? And then I was so negative. But he would always nudge me, like, hey, at least you have the Lions. Well, it turns out the Lions got their ass kicked, and so I didn't have the Lions.
Yeah, it's a bad weekend.
I said some absurd things throughout the game, and he chuckled. He laughed, so it was worth it.
I have heard from multiple sources about your things that you've said, and it wasn't Grant.
They were so good.
And you actually texted us about a couple. Well, someone texted about a couple of them.
I texted about Evan,
the Ross Ells one is all-time funny. I just can't believe
wanted to drown him in the river.
I just had to get it off my chest.
His reaction when the flag was thrown, he's like, "No, that can't be a legal formation, can it?" And I was like, "Evan, based on when they threw it, I think it is."
Yeah, it was.
He goes, "Just drown that man in the red cedar."
But people laughed.
Evan, I don't know if you caught this, Evan. This also stood out in my brain. We had some woo girls behind us, like just kind of like don't know anything about football.
Michigan fans,
little like Michigan State fans, like they were just kind of on the white trash end of the spectrum. And I asked Evan this too. So the Michigan State band's out there, and they start playing the U of M fight song, and it's
common practice.
Because there's so right. I look at Evan and go, "Why are they doing this?" He goes, "They do it for everyone." And I was like,
"Grant
"That's
doesn't go
wild."
to college football games so much.
Does every college do that for every team?
Most do, yeah.
I didn't know that. The ladies behind us also didn't know. It sent them in a spiral. You could argue Michigan State lost the game based on their reaction. They sat down and pouted and said, "I'm so pissed that they did that. What the f-?" Like, they were so mad. There was a few times though Evan would yell, and I think the guy in front of us thought it was me, and I would just kind of like point to Evan, like if he wanted to acknowledge the comment. It wasn't like anything bad, but it probably sounded like it was me.
I've sat next to Evan when he stands up and boos. You just kind of tuck your wee-wee between your legs and look away. You just have nothing you can do or say.
No, I mean there were sprinkles of positivity. Like whenever there was Michigan State basketball stuff, that was positive.
We got to see Tom Izzo on the field, so that was good to see.
He talked on the broadcast.
Yeah, we saw that interview was literally directly in front of us, so that actually made me happy.
Evan,
wasn't a good interview.
Now that we're days removed, because I was battling like in my head of like what to do. Because like I said, it wasn't my first rivalry game, but I can read the room.
I popped his cherry, Alex. I popped his cherry for a rivalry game.
Told me.
I didn't even know this until they walked
Grant said you got
the stadium.
Excited when you found that out.
He told I think
Evan Grant doesn't go to college football
first rivalry game.
He's been to more Michigan State football games than Michigan games.
So many more.
I already knew that
I've
fact
only been
beforehand.
to the big house once.
I knew that fact beforehand.
I've been to the big house more than Grant has.
I would figure that like at one point Grant's been to like a couple, just his younger Chad Henne self was watching
Butler
Michigan
Xavier.
beat Michigan State.
No, Grant's a psychopath.
Those
He said he
were
would never
fucking
go to a
intense.
game again.
Self-imposed ban until they beat Ohio State.
Yes, and he's
And
allowed back in the
turns
stadium.
out when those wins get taken away, you'll have to go back to it.
You're right. But Evan, did I stay too long? Like, because I kept saying one more possession, and then I think I
No.
timed it right though. I think like if we had
I
stayed
honestly
longer,
thought we would say. I honestly thought we would stay longer.
I thought
No,
Grant was
I
going
don't
to
think
do the
so.
whole
I
game,
was-
and Evan was going to
I
leave
started
the second
feeling
quarter.
uncomfortable at like how because the Michigan contingent was obviously getting louder, and there was some assholes, as in every fan base, like lurking around the perimeter, like the Hutchinson double jersey guy and the Corum guy. And Evan's like, "Who's gonna be my nemesis?" I was like, "That guy in the yellow Corum jersey, a row back, looks like he's gonna be a problem." And we
Hey,
nailed.
Grant's
it. He
called
was.
him out, and then literally not 30 seconds later, I was like, "Yes, Grant, I agree with you. He is the problem."
Did anyone say anything to you, Evan? Any Michigan fans?
No, I don't
No,
think so.
not one Michigan fan said a word to me.
Except Grant.
Like, some of them
I
were
didn't
just
hear
making
one.
me
I didn't hear
cringe.
one negative comment directed my way.
Because what do you say? What do you even say to a freshman football team versus an NFL team? Nothing. Just sit there. That's what it looked like.
Yeah,
on the
I mean
field.
But I thought we timed it. I think when it went to 42, we were like, all right. Like I personally don't need to see anymore because they're probably pulling everyone anyways and get home and beat traffic. So I thought we timed it up okay because there was really no need to stay there longer.
That was good.
I was just happy to see Mikey ask because that's my guy after his play. Also, Evan was all over that being a step out of bounds. Now that I agree with you in the stadium that I thought he did step out, and then I think I saw a TV replay and he might have stayed in. I don't think we had all the right angles.
I
on
thought
the
that was a
scoreboard.
terrible call, but like I didn't care enough to like get upset about it. But so it's whatever.
Like Michigan would have gone down and like
They would have just
Hey,
scored
maybe
anyways. But
Maybe we do force them to punt because we made them punt at least twice that I saw in the stadium.
we were really good at
So
making
maybe
them
we-
punt when their backups came in. If your backups have to play next year, you guys are.
Should we just do the whatever other thoughts we have on the game now? I feel like we probably should instead of coming
Yeah, I
back
got
to
some
it.
thoughts.
All right, I have questions for you too, but you go first.
No,
since Evan and I have been
lead-
talking the most.
Lead them off. Lead off the questions.
Well, my question for you guys were you more impressed by JJ McCarthy after that game?
No, I don't think anything in
No.
my mind is. I mean, I thought like he made some good throws. It helps when you got guys just.
He made one a throw that like knocked my dick off. That was the
Over Cal's head.
you showed the replay. You had the replay up on the phone during this, and I was like, he whipped that so hard, like live time. It looked fast. Like
We didn't see it. We didn't see it live. I was like, what? And
like
then
snap,
had to go on
boom. I
Twitter.
was looking right. He was looking right, and then boom, he snapped it back across the middle. And then next thing you know, I think it was Loveland had the ball and his hand up in the air. And I
That was a
like,
good throw. He made.
They
good-
just scored.
several good throws. But I've never thought he was a bad quarterback, so I was fully aware. And he made a couple Michigan State D linemen look stupid, but like if you saw some of the replays of Michigan State's D linemen like running free at him, they were just running straight up. They didn't break down whatsoever. They're just running at him straight up, and no wonder he just took one step to the right and threw it away, or like made a play. Like Michigan State's defensive line was not helping themselves when making JJ look that mobile. Which he is mobile, and he does have all the throws, and he is a good quarterback. But I wasn't like more impressed because I already knew he could do all.
The Brandon Wright one. I remember seeing that replay of the Roman Wilson touchdown. He just didn't break down at all.
It was
He
so bad. He
on
was
that
just
play.
running straight up like this. It's like, buddy, you're never.
I don't know if it's
it was
I don't know if
Brandon.
it's Brandon.
It
Number
was
26.
Brandon. Yes.
Wide open on a twist blitz. That touchdown was actually right in front of us, and I pointed it because I could see Roman
Grant's all
Wilson
the
from
way.
a mile away.
Didn't help that every besides the Loveland touchdown on Gross, like these receivers had like 6 yards of separation on a few of them. And it's just like if JJ can get enough time and roll out, he's got like 6 yards between him and the DB. So I would expect him to make that throw. Michigan State's so bad, it's hard to put too much stock into anything that Michigan did.
But it was it was
stopped the run
kind
a
of
little bit.
surprising. Yeah,
Michigan hasn't ran the ball
100%.
that well this year. Honestly.
in their spots. What
Not
impressed
that
me
they've had
though
to.
was like this first drive. You're 3rd and 14. Like Michigan put themselves in some bad spots in the game.
5 for 5 on
And-
3rd down to start the game.
And as the game went on, it just became we're like, oh, like JJ's just going to prove to be a guy that like when you're in 3rd and long, I just felt confident they were going to pick up the first down every time. as the game went on, which I know it's, again, competition level, but it impressed me that like he's reached the point, which can be good and bad, but in college football, I think it's good, where like with the play breaks down, he arguably gets better than if the play just goes according to plan. Like he will make a guy miss, and then they've perfected whatever the rollout drill is, where each guy takes a different layer of the defense, and he finds someone to pick
Credit
up
the
a
receivers
third
and tight
long, like,
ends
every time.
because they move with him very well when he rolls out. They really do like roll with him. He did have one play where he gets out of the pocket and he still has that like one play a game where he just tries to do way too much.
The sack.
That one was
every
so
night.
bad.
Yeah, that
He's
hurt.
just
The
like
rushing
running
yards
around in
prop,
The
so
rushing
bad.
a
yards prop
circle, and
failed
I'm
right
like,
then and there in Grant's eyes.
JJ, just throw it
So
away,
dead.
man. Like you don't need to be a hero. Up, I think it was like 28-0 at that point too, and he probably wanted the kill shot of some kind, which is fine. But he does seem to have one play where he just tries to do too much. Yes, he's a good quarterback, but not much has changed in my mind. We already knew that,
Yeah.
unless you live under a rock.
It looked. I was just saying, it like bumped it up a little, regardless of competition. He just looked like he was in control of everything. Like he wasn't.
I mean, it helped that
It was just
the game plan was for JJ to throw it a bunch, and he hasn't really gotten to do that. So it was like his chance to show out. He doesn't like us. Jim doesn't like us. So yeah, they put him on display, and he did well.
Were you guys did you guys end up getting annoyed that they scored late? Did that
It
bother at
definitely
all?
annoyed me, but it is what it is. Like
That was fair in a
I
rivalry
don't
game.
think we would do it in this current state of times, but
D'Antonio would. I think D'Antonio did. Someone looked it up.
D'Antonio
He did when
did
Bolden-
Fine.
in
when Bolden
reaction
put the stake into the turf.
So maybe Michigan did it in
Fair.
reaction to the tunnel, which I don't know. It's one thing to do it if like both teams were competitive and like it was like Michigan State did something disrespectful in the game, which I guess you could argue they did because Spencer Brown lost his cool. So maybe.
Oh yeah, we didn't see that till after. That was a bad hit, Evan. We looked
Yeah,
at
it
each other
was.
like, how
was
did
bad.
only he get ejected? Because
He only got ejected.
We
And
could
Grant, I
see.
said he had to throw a punch. Well, face
spear
diving
face.
bomb
With
onto,
his head.
Yeah.
onto somebody's head. That will get you an ejection. Now we know that will get you an ejection.
So we'll definitely do it.
I guess Michigan. Are you on Michigan fan side? Like here, sitting in the stadium with Michigan, a bunch of Michigan fans, and then just all verbally saying that Donovan Edwards just isn't good. Just blows my mind. It blows my mind that Michigan fans are already out on him, and they just say, "Well, he's just not good."
Let me tell you, he didn't look good on TV. He didn't.
They messed up. They did mess up some blocks. They didn't help him out. They missed some blocks.
So he looks fast on
But
the edge.
He
I can
looks
tell
so
you
much
that.
different than last year when he gets the
Well,
ball.
they just need to use him in that like little that swing pass on 3rd and 13. They just need to use him in ways like that. But I don't know about him. Like
he's not a traditional running back because he can't
he's
find
not a
the
bell
holes.
cow anymore.
He
Correct.
doesn't know
He
where to
doesn't
go.
read. But he did last year. I just don't get it. It's like his brain wired, like fried. Something happened.
Maybe the play
I don't get
calling
it.
is just shitty when he's in.
Because I'm not going to pull up the game logs, but we watched him go through a stretch where he was getting like 20 plus carries a game, just carrying them in a good way.
Yeah, he actually
I don't
entered
know.
the transfer portal again this week at halftime.
I mean, maybe he's like a one hole wonder. Like it's just you give him the Ohio
I
State.
mean, you put him
hole,
in
but then
space, he'll
Purdue.
do something, but I don't know. He's not breaking tackles though either. Like he's kind
I
of
guess
just
to
getting
your
hit
point,
and going
like
down.
he is good. He's talented, but it's not like in the run game, in the power run game, he's almost unusable, which is
He by
crazy
no
to say.
means sucks, and like that is a huge overreaction. And like you shouldn't be out on him because at some point you're going to need him because you have
Oh, yeah, we
not
need him.
played a single ounce of competition whatsoever, and eventually you're going to play someone good. And Blake Corum can't carry the ball 50 times, and JJ can't throw the ball 60 times, so you're going to have to rely on someone else at some point.
My sicko brain is like at least through the Big Ten stretch. I'm like, what if we just blow everyone out because like we are playing teams that are good, but we're just that good. I've reached full delusion with the team.
I think he'll blow Penn State out, and I don't think you're going to blow Ohio State out because their defense is actually good, and that should keep them in a game at least.
Because that was a question I had we were watching bits and pieces of I watched a decent chunk of the Penn State Ohio State game just with no volume and not a ton of context. But I had said, like, how did anything change after seeing that game when it comes to Michigan, my team? And I was like, I'm going to be cocky as shit going into Penn State. And I might eat humble pie, but I just can't see a world in which they lose to them.
It's at Penn State.
That team just looked gross.
Yeah.
At noon.
That's the only.
But Drew Eller went 16 of 4. Like, they'll play better. They can't play worse than that.
No.
He admitted he sucked and has to be better. So I do think he's like made of. He'll figure something out. But I mean, just I don't see it. I don't. They may score 7 points. Michigan's defense is better than Ohio State's, I think.
Michigan's defense
Scary.
I didn't leave this game feeling that way, to be honest.
You didn't? I thought.
No.
I mean, I guess they gave up some catches, but
Like, I thought
I mean,
overall, like, when Michigan State would call a reasonable play, like, it had some success. And then we would just run some absolutely dog shit play where we just run into 4 guys on the same side. And then Todd Blackledge would be like, yeah, the young QB, Caden Hauser's really got audible out of that there. And I'm just thinking to myself, there's no way Jay lets Caden Hauser 2 audibles. There's no way. He just, whatever he calls, that's what we run. And that's why it's so shitty. And I don't know.
Well, Alex, we also can't audible when we have to run our quarterback to the sideline for the play and then run back.
Yeah,
into the
that was
huddle.
embarrassing. I don't know why we did that.
So stupid.
Evan was pissed when I pointed that out.
It was dumb. They had the broad. Oh my god! You guys should have heard the broadcast before the game.
This is how incompetent the coaching staff is.
You should have actually heard the NBC broadcast before the game. The only thing they were, because the big thing was all about, the sign stealing. They talked about that, and all
was this down on the desk?
Yeah, all literally
You're watching that.
Every single one of them was just like, yeah, it's a bad rule. Like, Michigan should be allowed to do it. Shouldn't matter. Nothing matters. It's basically just like saying, yeah, Michigan's good. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it shouldn't be a rule anyway. So Michigan should get away with it. Blah, 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 blah.
Well, Matt Castle was a Patriot, so that's on brand for him.
Matt Castle was on that desk.
That's what Evan told me.
Yes.
That's him.
Big
The
goofy
guy was like
white guy.
Brady Quinn.
Who's the dude all
It
the
was
way
him.
to the right?
I don't know.
That's
but I
Michael
noticed
Robinson.
him.
Michael
He was
Robinson.
just like-
on Good Morning Football.
The
He
whole
was-
time,
I
just
think
like
he's
shaking his head.
He played at Penn State.
The only person who pushed back on Michigan, like,
Was
not getting
Perry.
in trouble was
Was Joshua Perry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they did.
And he's like,
they didn't know
well,
the
if
facts.
Ohio State got in trouble for tattoos, and that wasn't legal at the time, but it's legal now. But they still got penalized. And so that was his argument. But the broadcast was, for lack of a better word, blowing Michigan before the game. And it was a little upsetting. Not that I expected anything different because, Nicole Auerbach's on the broadcast and she's a Michigan Wolverine, isn't she? So
I don't know.
that's
She
what I've
usually,
heard.
But her reporting's not biased. I can promise you that because she's not afraid to say what it is.
Either way. So they blew that out of proportion, and then on the broadcast, the second the game started, they're like, "Yep, Michigan State's going to be going to the sideline every play."
She did go to Michigan.
It was so
I
stupid.
still love the running the no huddle and getting nothing off
Get
of
8
it.
yards
Inside
and
zone.
then no huddle
No
for
huddle
2 yard
inside
loss.
zone.
Let's do it. So
For some play
mad.
that doesn't work and no huddle for second down, and now you're 3rd down and 10 in 4 seconds. Love it.
Jay Johnson, he's worse in person. Can confirm. It stood out to me more.
It's disgusting.
in person.
So that's
It might help that
hard for
when
me to be
Evan
like,
stands
oh,
up and
Michigan's
screams,
defense is
"What was
great.
that?"
The play calling makes anybody's defense look good. Michigan's defense is good. I'm not denying that. But I would really, they have not played an offense worth a single ounce of shit.
Michigan hasn't allowed a
UNLV?
team to get 1st and goal yet all year.
They haven't played an offense with an ounce of ability.
I think someone said that if you just took their defensive touchdowns, they might still be 4-2.
Probably.
Well, you would have beat Michigan State, so there's 1 win.
They have 4 touchdowns, I think, on defense.
You would beat Indiana.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Someone was a jaw dropping stat. Also, another crazy stat about this this is from Max Chadwick. He said JJ McCarthy has 4 drop back passes this year in the 4th quarter. That's 262nd among FBS QBs. There are 133 FBS teams. which means almost every team in the country has 2 quarterbacks with more dropbacks in the fourth quarter than Michigan's starter, which is bananas when you really think about it.
Did you know that
We're one
every
of those
player
teams.
on Michigan played?
Well, breaking news: we have 3 quarterbacks that have dropback passes in the fourth quarter.
Yes.
Did you know that every player in Michigan played?
Cole Cabana got in. I was looking for him.
The broadcast said every single player played.
Yep, they threw that graphic on
Maybe
the
they
bottom.
redshirted him. I don't know, but
He played 4 games.
Any positives from the Michigan State side, Evan? You got any? I have one.
Simeon
uniforms
Barrow's in the
look good.
transfer portal.
That's does that matter? Like, does that upset you?
he's a good player.
I like keeping good players around.
He's
on
gone
my
at the
team,
end of the
yes.
year
He's one of-
anyways. Like, what's
He's one of like
what does it
4
matter?
guys that are like talented.
They have more than 4 guys. that
There
have
was
talent,
not
man. That's
one
incredibly
positive thing I can take
disrespectful.
away.
More 4 guys I think I'd keep on your team.
There's not one
5
positive thing
maybe?
I can take away.
I
You're
thought
frozen.
Sam Levitt
Oh,
looks
you're back.
pretty good against backups. He's at least fast.
Rinse and
I didn't watch
repeat,
that
Grant.
far.
Rinse and repeat. Let's do it all over again. Rinse and repeat.
This is
I'm
Noah
not-
Kim
rinse and
syndrome.
repeat.
I'm by no. Well, he's Sam
Rinse and
Levitt
fucking
ranked.
repeat.
He's not Noah Kim.
Next year, Evan, we're like you did with Noah Kim's highlights against Ohio State. Now it's hard to tell it was a blowout. Sam Levitt, hard to tell it was a blowout, but I think he's got.
All I think is he's fast, and he should not have thrown a
Which
pick
is-
because Trey Mosley's great hands. He's now dropped like 7 passes this year, which is ridiculous. I was told he never drops anything.
Just-
He's dropped 1 million passes. There's at least
Well-
there's more than 4 players I'd keep.
You know what's the positive thing? I think I predicted the right score on this podcast. I predicted the correct score, 49-0. I'm pretty sure I predicted the right score. Go back, run the
I
tape.
will have to look that up.
Because I told everybody last week that everybody talked to me that did like, hey, Evan, what's the score prediction? I said 49-0. I got it right.
Michigan State should have scored
Now,
points.
I know that's a big lopsided. I was still surprised to see when I saw Solari's tweet saying it was the largest home loss in Spartan history. That was stunning to me. I would have thought there had to be like at least 1 or 2 or something that was like crazy.
Why you think we're that bad that we just lose a bunch of games 50-0
No, we're like early in the history when
when
like
they were good and winning national championships?
are like back to the 20s or 30s. Maybe they just had a down year. I don't know. It was jarring to see that was the largest. Okay, I was like, that was crazy.
More than 4 players I'd keep for sure.
I would keep Jordan Hall. I like that kid.
Yep.
I would have kept Barrow if he would have wanted to stay.
We're talking about
I'd
the
keep
future.
Nathan Carter.
Talking about the future. Bear's like a senior, anyways.
I got 3: Hall, Barrow, Carter.
Dylan Tatum,
I don't know.
Jaden Mangham.
He does hit hard.
I mean, these are also like true sophomores. Like
Yeah,
these players are going to get better.
Tyrell
I would
Henry
not
just like,
keep
looks
Tyrell
cool.
Henry.
I'd keep him
Yes,
for keep him
I
for
could.
vibes. And
Alex,
Alex Van
I have a
Summer,
question
sure.
for you.
You gotta have a Van Summer.
I would not
I have a
keep
question
him.
for
He's
you.
never even played.
I have an honest question for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are a cornerback for Michigan State. You're decked out in all black. Night game, Spartan Stadium. You get lined up as a starting corner, for a Power 5 school. You get lined up, and they don't have a wide receiver lined up across from you. They have a tight end. Are you afraid to get burnt deep?
No.
So at one point you just see, you know what? F these coaches, they don't know goddamn shit. I'm going to press this tight end. Or you can say, you know what? I'm still going to drop back and give them 15 yards of cushion and let them run the same old hitch route over and over again in front of my face.
Well, it depends. Am I like just to blindly follow my coach's guy? Like, honestly, in high school, yeah, I
I don't
pretty
know.
much just blindly follow whatever the coaches say because that's what you're supposed to do.
Are you
I wasn't
complicit?
like a defy player. But if I had gone through this whole season and I was Michigan State's starting corner, I'd probably be so fed up with the team that I would probably do whatever I wanted. I would just roam. I'd try to be Cooper DeJean. Just be sick.
Hell yeah.
And be like, Coach,
point
I'm
the
playing
ball.
quarterback and I'm returning punts.
Electric moment. Was it Kimbrough that did the Jerry Jacobs seatbelt and he got cooked 2 plays in a row?
That. God,
Evan was so
he's
mad.
so bad.
I screamed at him. I said, stop. You're down by whatever the score was. I was like, you're going to get burnt pretty soon.
Angelo
And then
Gross
next play
played
got
well.
burnt.
I mean, he got
I
mossed,
don't think he did.
but he had a great pass breakup on the first drive.
The first drive, and then they got a first down in the
that
next
was one of the
play.
highlights they showed at the half. They showed
Nathan
that
Carter
highlight.
ran really hard.
The missed tackle by Michael Barrett. Never forget the catch.
That's,
Haven't I ever
Never
talked about
forget
that
that catch in the
that
flip.
stiff arm was hard. Just threw him to the ground.
It's not funny. It's not. It's really not funny.
Nathan Carter
You
is
have
a
to find
good back.
moments like that.
A good back.
No, he is.
needs
He's
something
good running
around
back
him.
behind a shit ass offensive coordinator and an
He has
offensive
to
line
eat a
coach
pizza,
that
though.
is the most overrated fat.
I didn't
double
think
lard
the
in
offensive
country.
line was that shitty. I just think our concepts are so dog shit that you can't do anything with them anyways. You might be able to do
Well,
something with that offensive line.
Their shit can't work.
And our pass
against Michigan's
concepts are
defensive
so
front, it's not
bad.
going to help.
They just get worse and worse every week.
It's like they don't game plan at all, and Jay Johnson just turns on Madden, and like this.
If
is what
he
we're
turned on
running.
Madden, we'd be better. He doesn't even look at that.
Yeah, he doesn't play Madden. He's playing Tecmo Bowl.
Still no
He doesn't
motion.
even know.
Just run 4
Still
verts
no
and throw it to
motion.
A. So bad. It's just disgusting. So no, my biggest question from this game is because I've saw some people on Twitter or on X, Michigan fans mainly, acting like now like they can declare themselves like title contenders, like they're going to win the national championship, blah blah blah, because of how good they were on Saturday, forgetting that they just played a JV team. So for you, Grant, has your perspective changed based on that?
Yes, but maybe
It did?
But maybe not. Maybe not. You're
Sakes,
thinking
dude.
it's Well, one,
You were
Evan
in
did look at
person.
me and he said this. Evan looked at me and he said this is the worst Michigan State team of all time. He declared it right there. He just said this is
probably push back on that because I'm sure there were some shittier teams. But yeah, it's a
This
No,
was
he
my
declared
point.
it.
most,
It was home loss ever, so-
undisciplined, poorly
This was my
coached team
point.
we've ever had.
Okay, in recent history, Mark Antonio's worst teams. 2016 and 2012. 2012, we lost and didn't give up a touchdown, all field goals. 2016, we lost by 9, and that was a 3-9 football team, and Michigan was like number 2, number 3 at the time.
Yeah,
in the
but Evan,
country.
that had a bunch of
We were
turnover
content-
talent
no.
from a playoff team,
We were
and they were well coached. That's the what you should say. Is this the most poorly coached football team you've ever seen in your life? Yes,
most talent
most
ever on
poorly-
the roster
technically, yes. That is in the last 10 years. That is a true fact.
for Mel Tucker.
It's just disgusting. It was more embarrassing and frustrating to see how much a coaching staff can ruin. I just got more pissed off at Mel Tucker for empowering these people to be on a staff. No wonder why we couldn't win a freaking football game. It's obvious now. It is obvious that nobody on this staff deserves another coaching job.
No one.
No. Name one person that deserves another coaching job.
The running backs coach. Our running backs have been decent.
Darian Harris can stay. I don't know if he's a coach
He's
yet.
not a
though.
coach.
He's in athletics now.
Yeah.
Javon Ringer should be allowed
He
to
should be
stay.
the coach.
Not a coach. Player personnel.
To your point, though, Alex, I think it was a mix of, one, the national landscape of college football. There was a lot of contenders that kind of looked a little suspect. So I think when you see
Every
that,
team has bad week.
and then you
Michigan's just
How about an
hasn't came
all-time
yet.
bad week, North Carolina?
Michigan hasn't yet.
Yeah,
you
they haven't
watch teams
had
like
it. Well,
that.
no one. I mean, let's be honest here, guys. No one thought North Carolina was a playoff team.
I definitely started to believe that they were going to make it based on their schedule and the ACC.
Yeah,
flirt with it.
But you weren't gonna ever think that they could beat you.
Correct, but
Well,
they
no
could
one
have
thought
made it.
TCU could beat Michigan last year, and that happened.
Also correct.
Yeah, because they didn't have their plays.
Well, we don't know that yet.
Drake May is
because
also an NFL
there's
quarterback, and they lost to
rumors
a
that Connor bought playoff tickets too,
Oh,
like
Well,
teams for playoff games.
but he didn't think
Like,
TCU
he was-
would be there.
he-
No one did.
I don't know.
No, makes so
Sorry,
much
Evan.
sense now.
my biggest take was North Carolina blowing their chance at ever sniffing the playoff
On the
this year.
CW,
Really, that was on the CW.
yeah, so no one could even watch it.
That's super depressing, and probably movie theaters because they're doing that bullshit.
Yeah, movie that probably
And
wasn't.
then you
a
have,
movie.
I wanted to go. I get back. Grant gets back. I battled demons on that car ride. How tired I was. I was so nervous for deer because there's deer all around this area. You see roadkill on the side of the road. You're just scouring for eyeballs in the grass off the side of the highway. And I look at my phone, ready to go to bed. I see Washington's in a dogfight. I'm like, I gotta at least try to stay up for a little bit of this game. I fell
Arizona
asleep,
State
woke up,
is
they won.
their weakness. They've lost to them last year, and they almost lost again this year to them.
What was Arizona's defense? I want to know what Arizona's defense does. Arizona State's defense. What do they do?
I don't know, but they
I don't
have
know.
Washington's
watch
number
tape.
What do
2
they
years
do?
in a row. It's crazy.
So you watch that, and you're like, and also this game, I understand you can say one of the least coached whatever teams, but like last year, Michigan was really good. They won by 22 and their own place. Like it was a mix of factors where this is the most dominant I've ever seen them look in this game, and a team that has historically had their number. Even if they're good, it's like closer than you think. And I was like, yeah, that this team's ready to win it all. And then you wake up, McCarthy's number 1 in Heisman odds, and they're tied with Georgia for the best odds to win it all. And you're like, yep, I feel better. It's all systems
Guess it's
go.
a compliment
If they lose
to
it, it's a
Michigan
massive.
State, because if people really think Michigan's better now because of that game, then we must be something. Because I don't think people realize how poorly coached Michigan State is. They're almost better off without even having coaches on the sideline. That's how bad it is.
You can make the argument.
They had 2 special teams penalties again. After what happened last week, they had 2 more in this game. It's terrible.
It's not good when Alex has a special teams penalty counter. It's not good.
For those wondering, 6 in 2 weeks and 2 L's.
I'm feeling better about my McCarthy best quarterback in college football take. I'm feeling better about it. I know everyone has down games, but it was just a combination of factors where I'm in a good spot. I have this theory. This is a theory.
Arizona State would be Michigan State by 20.
There's some Michigan fans thinking, I think they're still holding on to this crumb that JJ could somehow return. And I simply would like to tell them, if they're listening, that if JJ looks remotely like he did in this game and the big games that are left, he probably will be the first pick in the NFL draft, which might sound like hyperbole. But if you stop and think about it, if he plays to the level he's playing at, and you beat Penn State, Ohio State, Big Ten championship game in 2 playoff games, that's how the NFL cycle works. You will be the number 1 pick in the draft. He will be. And he'll have won the Heisman, and he'll be a first pick in the draft over Caleb Williams. I genuinely believe that. But everything has to go right. But that's not out of the possibility.
If JJ wins out and they win the national championship, and all of a sudden, after 3 years of Caleb Williams talk, now JJ McCarthy is going to go number 1. We're talking people are like saying Caleb Williams is like generational Andrew Luck number 1 kind of guy. Like Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
That kind of guy.
But he's crumbling.
Crumbling because his defense is Swiss cheese?
No, he went to Notre Dame and he threw 3 picks in like the first half.
He's just trying to do too much because his team gives up 40 points a game. I'm not even a Caleb Williams fan by any means, but NFL scouts are not. They took Anthony Richardson top 3 and he won like 4 games.
I'm just saying,
Caleb Williams is going
JJ
number
leads
1
this team,
no matter what happens.
If JJ leads this team to a title and looks
That
the
would
way
be a
he
mistake
does,
if someone does that.
There's gonna be Joe Burrow chatter of like he's just gonna be the number 1 pick. And the stats aren't even similar. I'm not comparing the player in college, but I'm saying that trajectory where he comes out of nowhere and he ends up being
not
the
out
first
of
pick.
nowhere. He was a first-round pick on draft boards before the season started. Let's not act like JJ's rise is from nowhere. That's absurd.
Just a couple of weeks ago, people weren't even considering him top 5 in the class.
What do you mean?
kind
I've
of
looked at the big boards before the season even started, and he was a top 5 QB. First round
Depends on
pick
where you look,
projected,
though, but when
late 20s. We talked about it on this show before the season started.
I listened to Todd McShay on the Brazil podcast 2 weeks ago go through the top 5 prospects, top 6 or 7, and JJ's name wasn't even mentioned. Riley Leonard was ahead of him. Shedeur Sanders was ahead of him. All the quarterbacks were ahead of him. I'm just saying his stock is going to skyrocket if he plays like he's been playing against the big games. He will be probably the number 1 pick in the draft.
I don't think he'll be the number 1 pick in the draft no matter what.
It would not surprise me, especially if Harbaugh gets hired by the Bears.
I wouldn't say
and
it's
they're the first pick. They're
probable.
taking JJ McCarthy.
I would never say that it is probable, which is what you just said. I mean, Caleb Williams has been a no-doubter first pick in the draft for 2 years, and now all of a sudden J.J. McCarthy is going to be the number 1 pick because he went undefeated and won a title.
Yes, I do think there's a chance that happens. I think the Caleb Williams, no doubt number 1 stock is taking a little bit of hit recently.
I can tell you right now, NFL GMs don't care that much about wins and losses when you're that talented.
But they also make weird decisions sometimes to overthink things. Where it's like, oh, maybe Caleb's not as bright as I thought, and I just saw this kid win a title, and I think he's a winner. Like, I could see that world.
A Baker Mayfield world.
But you have to think, though, Alex, how the cycle
I know
works.
how it works,
He lights
and
it up.
I know that Caleb Williams is a generational talent that people have been blowing their load over for multiple years. And Caleb Williams can make way more throws and can do way more things with a football than J.J. McCarthy, and that is no disrespect on J.J. McCarthy whatsoever.
I'm just saying. I don't think
What does J.J. do better than Caleb Williams? Other than, I guess, your argument would be win, but JJ's team around him is better.
He's a better leader of men as well. He's a better leader of men.
Based on your conversations with JJ and Caleb.
The fingernails, Caleb Williams, rumors that he wants part ownership in the team he gets drafted by, rumors that he's going to sit out because he doesn't want to get drafted by a certain team. Rumors. Yeah, there's a lot of red flags with the kid. And after painting your nails, saying Utah and then getting yeah, I just don't. I don't want him. I would not want him as my franchise quarterback. I think he's giving me Kyler Murray vibes. I might be super wrong. I might be dumb.
A freezing cold take exposed in a few years.
Definitely
could be right,
but it also could be genius.
Yeah. Jake Moody missed another field goal today, so he'll be cut from my fantasy roster tomorrow morning.
All right, let's hop into. Do we want to go NFL or do we just want to do our bit about the sign stealing? I don't know. Where I feel like it's been a lot of college football Michigan talk. Do we break it up with Lions?
There's not much to say about the Lions. Just bury the tape and move on. I mean, that's literally all you're getting from me. And J-Mo,
I think we got to talk about a little bit. He did.
We don't need to get into that.
You're going to say the B word?
No. I don't know what the B word is.
Bust.
No.
We did.
But holy shit, is that man just a sprinter in a football uniform that has no ability to catch balls?
That was actually one of our questions. I think this is from listener Sam. I can't tell. Submitted. I overreacted a little yesterday. The Lions had a bad game. This doesn't mean they are pretenders. This week's question is, though, do you believe that Jameson Williams is leaning towards a bust?
That's big of him to admit that he overreacted, because I felt that he was overreacting.
And if I'm being honest with you, Sam, not to hop on the negativity train, but I think we had a discussion earlier when he got suspended that we were just like not hoping for anything. If I was a scale, I probably would be 55-45 bust. I would be leaning bust, 55-45.
Yeah, I'd be 60-40 bust. Because I really don't know how you're going to teach him how to like catch the ball and be in the right spots to catch the ball. And even if he got in the right spots to catch the ball, like his hands are just bricks. Like he can't catch the ball at all. It's embarrassing. Like I have better hands than him. I think all three of us do. Like I just don't know how he can't locate a football. It's bad.
Now it's just frozen.
Are you guys frozen?
Mm-hmm.
No, Alex.
You guys are both frozen.
You were frozen.
Everyone.
You had better hands.
Crystal clear on me.
Evan, where are you at with our number 12 pick in the draft? Where's number 9 for the Lions?
Well, this is what happens when you don't get on the field at the beginning. Is your rookie, and as a sophomore year, you're not on the field. Yeah. You can't adapt the NFL. You can't get in-game reps like everybody needs. So you're going to fall behind the curve of where you should be at your second year. You should be, 17 plus whatever it is. What is our record, 5-2? So you should be almost 25 games into the year, into your career, and you're only 7.
Yeah.
Not to compare, but do you guys remember how Jefferson looked in his first year? How Jamar looked in his first games? Devontae Smith in his first games? J-Mo is a top 15 draft pick. Like, he's supposed to look like those guys. His looks, he's not even in the planet. It took Jefferson 4 games.
Jefferson 4. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's just because they didn't throw it.
J-Mo's also in.
Jefferson has
7th game.
Incredible hands. Is the best route runner probably in football. J-Mo's not even like touching him on the planet.
But this is where I keep wrestling. Like, I understand. Yeah.
Did we draft him 12 to just like have one touchdown, like one catch, one touchdown every 3 weeks? Like that's what we drafted him for? Because that might be his ceiling.
Well, that's the trend the coaching staff is, because we are run first and we tend to pick towards the veterans.
And he got snaps this week and targets, and he looked awful. This is why he hasn't been playing.
Yeah. I'm trying to.
Well, who do you blame that on?
Him.
Oh. Not the guy that drafted him?
But yeah, I mean, sure. But I'm not going to act like Brad's the Antichrist because we're 5-2 and every other pick he hits on. So
correct. I'm not saying
even Hanzarecki looks good now, and Pascal looks good too. So, maybe we just got to give him time.
I will say this. Jared didn't help him out. Jared, in general, had a bad game because of the wind. The wind only affected Jared and not Lamar, because Lamar just diced their ass. And Jared looked bad.
Jared looked better.
As a friend at the bar, I'm sure he'd admit, yep, Grant wasn't my best game. The throws to JMO, a couple were bad. One, JMO got interfered with. They didn't call it. His hand was dragged down. It hit him in the face mask. People were making fun of him, but like he literally
Fox showed that replay 20 times of him just getting doinked off the face mask, which was
a bad look, but like he literally couldn't lift his arm up because it was getting grabbed. And then the last one, it was a little underthrown, but he just got spun around. I guess I just keep holding out hope because you look at his Alabama tape and he didn't seem to have that many drops. Doesn't even look like
the same person.
And I will agree, there is a little hive on Twitter that's just loves defending him, and they are pointing out, which I do see. I'm sure it'll change as he gets more acclimated to the offense. Is that it is tough to ask a guy like just to come in and play like only 20 to 30 snaps a game, and then your targets are going to be like 50-yard deep bombs, and if you drop it, everyone judges you off of that. Like it would be nice to run like a 10-yard.
He can't catch the ball. He can't run a 10-yard dig and catch the ball. I've watched him doink it off his chest on those plays.
Not in the regular season yet.
In the regular season,
games he's played.
4 of his drops have been like him in this year and last year. Him running across the middle, Jared throwing it with a little bit of velocity and just flying off his hands. He can't catch a ball.
But he's about to get killed on like the swing route he dropped, or that was kind of out. He was about to get killed.
So what?
And then the one in the Panthers game, he almost got killed.
He's an NFL receiver, Grant, drafted in the first round. I don't want to hear an excuse that you can't catch a ball. You got to catch a ball and take a hit. Everyone talks about how he's so tough and that he wants to play gunner and kill people on punt, blah blah blah, and you can't take a hit from a safety.
That's good. That's a good point. The toughness part is a good point. Brad Holmes did preach that a lot in the draft.
It's disappointing because I also think like his lack of understanding of the offense is a massive issue as well, because there's no way that he knows all the plays and like is acclimated, and he's had 2 years. He could be studying, he could be doing something and learning. Yeah, it's clear he's not, because the coaches don't trust him.
I will say though, I keep holding out the flashiness, the separation that he creates is there's a handful of guys in the league that can separate that easily from a defensive back just with their God-given abilities, and it just makes you want to keep holding on.
God-given talents, and he is wasting them away. And I really, really hope he realizes that, turns some sort of switch.
Can we do we have anyone on our staff that could call Nick Saban? Like, can we just take his brain?
I'm sure
what did you do? Because he's a miracle worker. Like JMO, from what I had seen at Alabama.
Why do you think he didn't play at Ohio State?
Problems.
It's probably the same shit.
Yeah, or there was a bunch of people in front of him, and it was just hard to crack.
I mean, he went to the best team in the country and lit it up. Like, I'm sure Ohio State could have found ways to use him.
Yeah, but if they already had their firm, like Garrett, Chris, and whoever else was there, he's probably like, "Oh, I'll just go now and transfer."
He was there for 2. He was there for 2 years. Didn't touch the field.
It's hard to get on the field if there's probably guys on Michigan that think they're better than Cornelius Johnson. No, you know it's not. College
Crazy JMO almost went to Michigan State with Mel Tucker. Oh my God, we'd never even heard of him.
What do you mean? Mel made Keon.
No, he didn't make him.
That's a joke. Evan, did this loss change your long-term ceiling view of this team this season? Did it do any damage to the bigger picture goals?
Bigger picture. Yes. It is 100% proven fact. We need a secondary help, and you need a primetime pass rusher.
Are you saying Aiden Hutchinson's not a primetime pass rusher again?
I'm saying Aiden Hutchinson is not a primetime pass rusher, and that he needs somebody on the other side so he doesn't get double teamed every single play, because you know damn well that one of the defensive tackles are not going to get home on just when they're one-on-one battle. They can just slide everything to Hutchinson, and we know that nobody's going to get home. The Ravens are a good football team. It is just frustrating that the Steelers hold the Ravens to like 9 points every single time they hold them.
It's way different. Everybody knows interdivision games are just so much different because you see those teams twice a year. It's just way different.
It's just mind-blowing that, like, hey, watch the film. What do they do? Like, let's try to...
Yeah.
That's what just pisses me off. And this is also coming off the Ravens.
Premier, but he needs one.
This is coming off the Ravens traveling from London. And boom, they come out guns a-blazing. That place was loud. And they just...
Sometimes you have a bad day, and another team is fully clicking, and this is the NFL with grown-ass men, and you're just going to get pummeled. And that is just what happens in the NFL. If you do not bring your stuff, and the other team does, in the NFL, you can lose badly to any single team in the NFL. And that's what happened.
Yeah. Evan, we could just take the spin zone if you're willing to go there, that Lamar is just so good.
And Evan, you should give Lamar some praise because he is a good quarterback in this league, a very good quarterback.
He's a good running back.
No, he carved us through the air.
He didn't even do anything
much.
He just elusive, flees the pocket.
He was so their schemes with Monken was in his ditty bag. You want to talk about just firing all cylinders? His little RPOs, some of those plays I hadn't really seen in a while because you don't see that many.
That's a nice RPOs. To respect the run.
Oh, just like he thought he was.
I didn't even think he could do that. They had one where Lamar ran towards the line of scrimmage and then threw it to Odell for like 12 yards. Like, holy shit.
First drive, like the first second or third down.
Holy
you're like, oh, this is what's going to be like all day.
This play, like there was no lineman downfield. Like they pulled that off. Yeah, I was like.
Also, the Twitter warriors that were getting like, I sent out trying to be positive, like tip of the cap on that 4th and 1 play. They're like, oh, Kaminsky just got to be better. It's like, dude, what do you want him to do? It's 4th and 1, and they put him on an island. He's going to crash on the give because he's like 4th and 1 on the goal line. It's not his fault that the most athletic player in the league that plays quarterback spun out of it and kept it. It's like, come on.
Put anybody John Kaminsky. Like, I don't know what you're expecting.
100%.
The Ravens had a great game plan and played really well. You can't take that much away from them. We also played like shit. Okay.
Lions played like shit.
Yeah. And that combination is never going to end well. I don't care who you're playing.
It did prove to me that we need a power running backup.
We certainly cannot offensive line didn't play great either, which was not helping.
Panay had 2 holds. I know you said one was trying to cheat.
One was not a hold. First one, I get it. He had him by the...
Panay did not play great.
Golf scrambled, and Panay was like trying to block him. That guy's running this way, and all of a sudden your guy goes the complete opposite direction. You're going to have a tendency to hold. The other one was the exact same thing that like the Ravens were doing. They're just like, their hands are up, not even holding on to anybody, and the other arms are just over the top, and it's just like...
Yeah.
Sorry, random question. Is there a pitch timer in the postseason? There's not?
Yes, there is.
There is. It's pitch clock.
Swing and a miss for Garrett. He said, is there no pitch clock on the postseason?
No, there is. But there's like smaller rules that you can get out of it.
I have a question for you guys about this loss. Would you rather be like the 49ers last week, who lost to the Browns with the backup QB, or the...
Well, you should think about the 49ers right now are losing to the Vikings. They're getting their ass kicked.
Really?
Yeah, I've been watching.
Carving up the 49ers defense.
But...
I have not been watching.
Jake Moody did miss a field goal, and the Niners are driving, so...
All right. Well, the Niners also have 2 turnovers.
McCaffrey fumbled in the red zone.
So would you rather be the Niners, like just in the loss to a team that you shouldn't have lost to, and the Eagles last week lost to the Zach Wilson Jets? No. Would you rather have a stinky loss to that, to a team you should beat, or just get blown out like we did against a good team?
I'd rather get blown out by a good team.
Get blown out, bury
I think so too.
Tape. Like it's Like at least
I'd
for like
rather-
I think
we
so
had the
too.
whole second half to like get over it.
Oh, I was over it by halftime.
Yeah, like I would be stewing about a loss to the PJ
I am
Walker
a Michigan
Browns.
State and Lions fan, and I had 2 games, and I watched 4 quarters total.
I did go to red zone a half, and then I needed
It was a tough
Gibbs
week.
points, so I tuned back in.
I watched more of the
both the
Chiefs and
Harbaughs.
Chargers game than I did of Michigan State and Lions game combined.
You watch more Taylor Swift than actual football.
I wasn't watching Taylor Swift. I was watching Austin Eckler, my fantasy running back, just absolutely lay an egg again.
I watched Travis Kelce.
No, you were
go
there for the Britney handshake.
35.
You were
and
there for that.
Then I realized that I was
watched
playing
Joshua
Patrick
Kelly
Mahomes.
run for a 46-yard touchdown. I was like, why can that not be Austin Eckler or something?
I did actually see Josh Kelly running, and I was like, holy shit. Everybody could have used that last week.
No, relax.
It was disgusting.
I was hoping that Greg Olson or Kevin Burkhardt was going to say that there's an asterisk on this one because David Montgomery was out. I was hoping they'd give us the benefit of the doubt.
We're 0-2 with them now this year.
With Kevin Burkhardt and Greg Olson.
They're
I think Greg Olson does a fantastic
Greg
job.
Olson's really
I think
good.
he is very underrated.
Bad suit jacket, though. That was the talk of the town. That suit jacket
I
stunk.
did not see him once in the
I'll be
booth.
honest, I love that commercial
God,
they
it
do.
was bad.
It makes me laugh.
Oh, the
What?
They
touchdown one?
they give like each other nicknames and like the sitting around a table. I can't remember the nickname they give Kevin Burkhardt, but it's really funny. He's like, no, I don't want that.
My
nickname."
favorite, my new favorite commercial is the Nissan Heisman House one, and it's laundry day, and where you have I think Billy Sims just pushing in the Gamecocks mascot into the washer. He's like, "Ooh, cocky, you stink." He's pushing him into a washer. Oh my god, it's classic. It is just an all-time classic.
We're gonna have to look that up.
Oh,
There's 2 teams. I thought about this last night too. There's 2 teams in the NFL that I'm 100% confident the Lions cannot beat. Play them 10 times out of 10, we're losing.
That
every
would
time.
never happen in the NFL, just so you know. But continue.
Well, I'm just letting you know it
in your
would
head it would, but
with
it
these
wouldn't.
2. Who's your guesses?
Browns with their not the Browns, the Bears with their new quarterback, and
No, Evan. Serious answers only.
Patriots if the Lions are wearing Bills uniforms.
I see what you did there.
Bills,
Serious answers. No, I don't
No,
think
we
would
could beat the
ever
Bills.
beat.
the Dolphins.
Yep, that's
Too much
one of them.
speed for sure. I could see that.
Yeah, we can't beat them.
We would struggle
And-
mightily with them because I don't know how we would stop their speed.
They'd score 50. Yep.
Probably
And
the Sunday night game. It's literally
I think
probably
we could beat the Eagles, though. They're not that fast in space.
at a
They're
big
not on
boy
the
wide
list.
It's,
receiver.
we're talking
That's
teams
good
that are
news for
would
us.
blow by us.
It's good news for us. Yep. We can't beat.
There's no other team with speed like the Dolphins.
It's the Ravens.
I was going to say it's
We can't
probably,
beat
probably them.
Oh, I was just not. I was thinking of other teams.
Ravens, Dolphins are just weak. Aaron Glenn,
Poor
not gonna
matchup
stop
for
them.
us.
Which is good though because they're AFC teams. So we're talking about Super Bowl. We can't. It changed the ceiling. If either of those teams play the Super Bowl, we cannot win a Super Bowl this year. But we can still take as far as we want in the NFC. I think it's an uphill climb to obviously beat the Eagles and the Niners, but I think we can scrap one out if we really bring our A game.
I think we can scrap one out with those teams because they're not like blow your doors off explosive offenses. Like
Yes.
when anytime you have a quarterback like Lamar can apparently throw now and you have to worry about him running all game. That's an issue. And then Dolphins, Tyreek and Waddle and HM when he comes back. Like we have our linebackers would look so terrible in that game.
They would just run
Like we
crossers
would get
all
just
game long.
absolutely torched.
Also, this is not to get too X's and O's football, but I decided that if I was a defensive coordinator in Aaron Glenn's spot, I disagreed with his approach. I think he kind of had the pass rush because the pass rush was moving the offensive line back into Lamar. But I think they were so concerned about their contain rules and like stopping him from running. And I just think that's a poor way to play him. If I was a defensive coordinator, I would dare Lamar to run for 300 yards on us and lose that way, as opposed to like being so worried about contain that he's just going to let him pick you apart. Because he's going to do what he wants and he's still going to scramble, even if you're trying to prevent the run.
And just watch our linebackers
just
creep
dare-
up and Mark Andrews slip behind him over and over and over and over.
well, I would have done my Brian Branch spy and just like, you're in charge of Lamar, and I would have just played it normal. Like I would treat Lamar like he's Desmond Ritter, and then if he runs for 300 yards, that's how you lose.
He
but like
would
getting
run for
shredded through the
300
air
yards.
is way more. But you have a better chance to win the game, I think, if he does
All
that.
the Anzalone praise the last 2 weeks, and then just laid an absolute stinker this week. That is Alex.
But what can he
Anzalone
do?
in a nutshell.
Everybody on the team laid an egg, Alex. Amon was the
Lamar's
only
an
one that
alien.
played well.
That's what I can't.
Monner had one of his worst games, I thought. He dropped like 3 passes.
Still had almost 170 yards receiving.
He's the only guy who caught passes. Jahmyr Gibbs had a good game. Give him some credit.
No, he didn't. He only had 50 rushing yards.
He had a good game, Evan.
No, I didn't watch the second half because I couldn't. I was watching
Okay.
Formula One and NASCAR. Sorry.
Jahmyr
people
Gibbs had a
occupied.
good second half that you missed.
I watched
The
the
last
exciting
two,
Browns Colts game.
That game was exciting.
That was wild. The last thing I want to say is, again, for the Doomsday Lions fans, which I hope some people are starting to walk themselves back. This is from Jeff Rieger of 97.1.
Oh,
He looked
Super
up a stat.
reliable.
Guys, it's just stats, all right? Because he was looking back at the Lions and, comparing it. I think Wilkins provided the Patriots blowout loss that they happened in their Super Bowl run. And then Rieger tweeted about the Bucs lost by 35 with Tom Brady to the Saints the year they won it all.
I have
And
more for
then
you.
Jim Costa, 97.1, for our own Lions. He said the 1991 Lions team, which won the playoff game, they started 5-2, exactly like us, and they had a 32-point loss in their 7th game, exactly like us. They went on to win the division and a playoff game. So,
Well,
I have
we're
more.
winning our division
More.
because our division stinks.
well, the Vikings.
I have more.
But yes, no, you're right.
The Chiefs
You're right.
lost to the 4-12
Yes, Alex?
Colts last year. Won the Super Bowl. The Rams
Facts.
lost to the Cardinals and Niners. Demolished by both of them and won the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Matt
All right.
Patricia's Detroit Lions destroyed New England on national
Beat the
television.
Patriots.
Patriots
Sunday
won
Night
the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So, like I said, NFL teams get spanked around once a year all the time. Nothing new.
I'm also ripping this off from Bill Simmons. Speaking of the devil, I was listening to his show today, driving home, and he said there's also this weird voodoo curse going on in the NFL where the team who had the best won the week before lays a dud the next week. If you think back to week 1, I'll go quickly. The Niners beat the Steelers 30-7, and then they almost lost to the Rams. So they
Or the
kinda
Lions
escaped it,
winning
but they didn't
week
look
1
great
against the Chiefs and then
Rams.
losing to Seattle at home.
Or that. And then in week 2, the Cowboys beating the Jets by 20. They looked just elite with their defense. And they lost to the Cardinals. So that wasn't very good for them. And then the Dolphins beat the Broncos by 50 and then got
And
blown out by
lost
the
to the
Bills.
Which the Bills
And then-
stink.
The Bills won that week. And then the Bills went and lost to the Jaguars. And then we won week 6 against the Bucks because everyone was talking us up. And then we just lost to the Ravens. So the Ravens are going to get pummeled next week.
The NFL is a vicious cycle. It's a grown man's game. These are not college kids.
The Ravens are playing the Cardinals, so they should reverse it. But if they lose, this thing is real. If they lose, this is real.
I wouldn't put any stock into the loss.
So we're
Like, yeah, there's
We're
some
fine.
things that
Someone-
were not great that need to be cleaned up, but we're not dead.
We had a listener question on Instagram as well from probably a younger fan. Just maybe he's just worried, but he's just like, how do the Lions bounce back from this loss on Monday Night Football against the Raiders? And they do so by winning by 3 touchdowns because the Raiders are an unserious franchise.
I would expect
That's
them
all.
to.
going to be Brian Hoyer or Aiden O'Connell at quarterback.
Brian Hoyer is the backup,
Is Garoppolo
Grant,
gonna be
because
out?
Hoyer has been starting. We were right the whole time.
All right, that's a big win for Michigan State.
Basketball starts Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm hammering any alternate spread I can find on that. If the Lions lose or look bad in that game, then we can hit panic buttons.
I don't
I'm
know
fully
who
there.
can
That'd
cover
be pathetic.
Devontae Adams, but I'm sure we could just double team him and then let Jacoby Myers catch 25 passes, and then that'd be good. Josh Jacobs is slow as
That'd be great
dirt.
for
Like, he's not
fantasy.
going to do anything.
Jacoby Myers is the best receiver on their team.
No, Devontae Adams is. He just gets doubled. I mean, that's a terrible take.
Look,
As
as someone who has Jacoby Myers on
No.
fantasy football assets,
All right,
Jacoby
fantasy
Myers is
football.
better.
Jacoby's had 2 better weeks, so yes, he is now better. Even though Devontae is probably the second most talented receiver in the entire league.
I need to find
Devontae Adams
points
should
for
get
the year.
traded to Detroit.
No,
With
that's the last thing
Brian
we need.
Burns,
We do not need that.
Devontae
Alex.
What do
Adams
you
and Matt
mean?
Crosby.
Trade JMO away for
Both of
Devontae
them.
Adams tomorrow.
Yes.
All right, ready, Alex? Guess how many fantasy points Devontae Adams has?
I know he's had a few bad weeks. Grant. He's on my team.
He has 113. Jacoby Myers has 104. They're basically the same.
They're
player.
not the same player, Grant. Open your eyes and watch a football game for once in your life. Jacoby Myers only has
Troll
that many
Grant.
points because he's open because every corner is covering Devontae, and you know it.
Troll Grant.
Troll Grant's stupid. I want him to die.
Speaking of Troll Grant,
Read my team name.
Michigan. Oh, I guess we should do NFL. Any other big picture takes? I think it was kind of a weird week in the NFL. There was some gross.
NFL
scores.
is-
The Bills might be bad.
I read a tweet from Graham Couch that I felt was very accurate. Why do people try to guess in the NFL? Because every week is so bananas different, and it is impossible to predict what's going to happen. But yet it's like the most gambled on sport in the country. It's crazy. You have so much better
there's some
chances
things
in
that you have-
college.
You want to hear a devastating story about predicting things that were just spot on?
You predict something that was spot on.
So I like to do some anytime touchdown bets.
Those are
I just-
easy.
I,
Those
and
are
a lot
different.
of times I like to do them for my fantasy team because it's like a double win. And this week I looked at my roster and I was like, there's just no way Jerome Ford doesn't score a touchdown this week. There's just no way. But I had to run. I was running errands, grocery shopping. I didn't get home till 12:15. I walk inside, look at my notification. It was 1:15. Jerome Ford, 80-yard touchdown. I was like, fuck, I didn't place it.
It's pain.
So
If
that
Christian
Graham Couch, you
McCaffrey
can
doesn't
predict
score
those.
this week, that touchdown prop is dead.
Well, good news is he just had a rushing touchdown.
Well, there you go. It's like 4 players every week that are like guaranteed to score touchdowns.
Well, he didn't score last week. He got injured.
All right.
Or did he score before he got injured?
Probably did. He's a touchdown machine.
I didn't really care. I saw the Kelly Greens, and I love the Kelly Greens. Love the
It might
Kelly
be my
Greens.
colorblindness. I might not see it as great as everyone else because I didn't find them that awesome.
Oh,
But everyone else
it was
was
so good.
freaking out about it.
so good.
But the actual
didn't really
uniform
even-
matchup, Evan, wasn't good because the Dolphins were in white.
Because the Dolphins have the worst logo in sports.
That's a hot take. It's just a
Dolphins have a very flamboyant little dolphin that is not very sport.
dolphin is not sporty,
Yep.
Evan. I mean, it makes sense though. It's a perfect logo for Miami. It's MLS team. They're pink. That's just Miami. The Heat have pink
But-
uniforms. What is a Heat?
But they
Is that a scary
the Dolphins
logo?
the Dolphins have a good throwback logo.
That's just another dolphin.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
the one they have.
I know what you're saying. Have you watched any postseason baseball?
Yes. I watched I've been watching a lot of it because it comes on the early game. On Thursday doubleheader,
in the middle
early
of
game
work.
goes on at 5.
I'm in the middle of work when that comes on.
It's
And someone
awesome.
behind me is
I
like,
hate
"Holy shit, someone homered!" I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Every time I turn it on, I'm like, oh my God, it started at 5. That's disgusting. But I sit down and watch it all. I'm like, oh, this is actually pretty nice.
The Diamondbacks had already won by the time I got home from work today.
Yeah, but I would just be pissed off, though, if I was like the Tigers and I was playing in.
I can't live here
Game
for
6.
Tigers postseason baseball because they'll be playing at 4 p.m. 3 p.m.
5 o'clock?
Yeah, it'd be 3 p.m. start game. But I think baseball's always done that, where there's super early playoffs games.
I get it, but still, it's just ridiculous. It's because there's no really. I mean, Arizona, but they made Arizona play at a.
Arizona game's already done, and it's 5:25.
Yeah, Arizona
right now
played
in Arizona.
Arizona played a playoff game. They were first on a doubleheader day. They played at 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock local, 3 o'clock local. Start first pitch. In the middle of the week.
My God, the Rangers are actually going to win.
Yeah, Corey Seager went yard in the first.
Alex Bregman just hit a
To start
2-run
the
bomb.
game.
And then Adolis Garcia got another RBI. Grant, we just moved into the new section of postseason baseball. You watched any?
I watched the Diamondbacks Phillies game that I spoiled in Gambling Degenerates, and that's the only game I've really seen.
So you're out on baseball. I'll be honest.
It's just tough because I'm such a football
I
guy.
thought
hard.
that baseball didn't exist, and then now that I'm here, like people talk about baseball all the time. Like our friend group, we don't talk about baseball whatsoever. I'm telling you, like every day, like the water cooler talk is baseball. It is weird.
Yeah.
Alex, well,
And
imagine
I
your
told
team
them, I was
makes-
like, my team hasn't been in the playoffs since 2014, so like I forgot baseball existed. Like, oh yeah, we've been in the
Imagine your
ALCS 7
team.
years in a row. I'm like, holy fuck.
Exactly,
No
my
shit.
point exactly. You would talk about baseball every single day of your life if you're like, oh, we
Like
wake
I
up,
was
we
sitting there
roll into
today,
the
I'm like,
ALCS.
having a hard time believing like people are like excited for Game 7 tonight. I was like, just another blip on my radar, and everyone else is like, what do you mean? Like this is, I'm super nervous. Like I'm
What,
scared.
You got evening plans tonight, Gillen?
I'm like, no, like what's going on? Oh, Game 7 ALCS.
Sorry, I'm
I already bought my World
sick.
Series
I'm going to watch
tickets.
I'm
Watch
gonna watch the
Niners,
Vikings,
Vikings.
49ers.
Baseball has like diehard sport fans. I guess we are that with college football and NFL football. But outside of that, I'm just a fan of like my teams. That I like just my teams over like sports. Like if the Pistons were opening the season, I probably would watch a good
Vikings
chunk
are
of
the
that as opposed to Game 7 between Diamondbacks Phillies.
Oh,
Like, Diamondbacks Phillies is fine.
I'm complete opposite.
I know you'd be
Complete
baseball.
opposite.
I know.
I
Evan.
am.
Wait, what would you say
Give
you'd
me a
rather
playoff
watch than
sport.
Diamondbacks Phillies?
If the Pistons were on opening against the Heat, I'd watch Cade Cunningham and Ivy.
Oh, I don't
play.
know.
Watch them
Being
dribble
in
up
this-
and jog up
in
the
this
court and give zero effort.
Baseball town like has kind of reinvigorated my baseball interests. I'll be honest.
But you've been in no playoff games.
Oh, I've
though.
watched them all.
the Houston
though.
Astros
I've been
tattoo.
no, would never do that. Would never get a tattoo of any sports team.
I'm a playoff guy. Give me the
Playoff
playoffs.
baseball
Give me
is
something that
fantastic.
means something.
Really is good.
I don't care about Game 4 against the Kings,
But like
and nobody's giving any effort on the defensive side.
What about hockey though, Evan? What if
no
it was
one
Red
in
Wings?
this city even knows what hockey
I
is.
cry every time I see the Red Wings score. A little bit. I mean, if it's like I want to watch it, and the other half of me is happy because we're up already 3-0 on the Calgary Flames on a Sunday afternoon.
That was much needed
Yeah, I
for
haven't
our
watched
city.
a second of Red Wings
Much
hockey
needed.
because I'm not really sure how to.
TNT Wednesday night, you missed out, loser.
Wednesday night I was busy. I
Interesting.
was at work very late.
You just need a credit card. You need a credit card, Alex, with a Detroit zip code
I have one with a Birmingham zip
or
code.
Michigan zip code. Yeah, Bally Sports might accept that.
Or you just give me your login since you mooched off my YouTube TV for 2 years.
I just don't know if they. I think they have strict
Oh,
policies
right,
on sharing.
right. I give you stuff, you give me
I'll have to
nothing.
check.
Like that ticket you had this weekend. Oh, wow.
Kirkle threw another
Yeah,
touchdown.
Jordan Addison
Please,
has
I
2
told you.
touchdowns. KJ Osborne
But
has 0.
That
I
touchdown
lost.
was late.
Oh,
in
you have
that.
KJ.
That touchdown was
KJ.
late.
Yeah, 17-6. Or
All
he
right,
missed the extra point.
Should we do the elephant in the room, the sign stealing bomb by Pete Thamel today that dropped?
I mean, I thought you were trolling all day, I'll be honest. I didn't think you were actually worried about it. And then I read the article and
I
I
read
was
the
like,
article as soon as I got home from
wow,
practice.
this is intricate. And
it's just the level of details. Evan's illegal.
I think Michigan's going to get in some serious trouble.
It made me so happy.
And I think
I
it's
do
going to
too.
happen quick.
I do. I don't think it'll affect this season. That's my stance as of tonight.
I don't think,
I think that's what you're hoping.
It's never like that would be unprecedented for college football. That actually would go pitchforks.
There's
They
an
did that.
actual,
They can't do this
like,
season.
I personally don't know if I agree with it. I don't really have a stance on it. We're going to need all the details before I make a take. But there is an actual possibility, whether it's high or not, I don't know, that like they vacate wins and take away wins. And
Yeah,
that
but-
takes away a Big Ten
So I was-
championship. Multiple. 2 of them. That effectively takes away a Big
But
Ten championship.
so
And then I was wondering, so
And I
let
was
me
talking
finish,
to-
Grant. So my
All right,
question
all right.
would be to you.
I got to calm down.
Obviously, all that stuff happened. The championships to go into the playoff. You were there for all that. If they were to take away those, does it change your view of them? Or was it silly? I don't care. Like in that moment, it was great. We won 2 Big Ten titles. But even though when you look back at it, it'll just be they didn't exist.
It changes absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I figured
Nothing about
that
the
your answer would
wins and the joy of those seasons. because there's multiple factors. This is where I think there's two different camps of the way to view this. One is I think most college football fans all agree that the offense here in question is really kind of something that all happens in sports. To the level Michigan's doing it is what adds a new twist with this guy, military background. Like, there's juicy details, buying tickets, like that's a different layer. But sign stealing, it's happened for a long time. There's ways to do it. The rule that this was made off of was 1994 because people were broke, and the biggest schools would have too fair of an advantage to send in-person scouts. Like, the actual act of trying to steal signs is not that bad. And the only way I disagree with people, which I'm sure there are people out there that believe it, and it's fair to believe it, but like the advantage Michigan was getting, I don't think is like insane. I do, obviously they got better.
It's just a
stretch,
very weird time.
But it's kind of with the
absolutely
Astros,
so shit in 2020, which is 2020 is a throwaway season, and I've said on the record many of times that it doesn't count. So take that for what it is. But then did you just all of a sudden win the Big Ten 2 years in a row? Yes, you can point at a bunch of things why that happened other than sign stealing, but I'm telling you why people would think the other way.
Those are the only chirps that get to me because I think it's just it's the lazy take. Like, there's so many things they changed. They had the new strength and conditioning coach who was transformed how tough they've been. And Harbaugh actually like woke up and hired legit assistants and not like Pep Hamilton and Don Brown, who had 2 defensive plays.
Try Jay Johnson and Russell.
Like, Mike McDonald is having a great time, and the Ravens staff, like, they just had really good coaches. Like, they changed the program, they changed the culture. They had a second round pick in Hutchinson. Like, they were just better than they had been. Did the signs help in some games? I'm sure, but we know now on the record from last week reporting that Ohio State was nervous about the sign stealing. They thought they knew about it. They changed their signs for the 2021 game. So that game, like, there's multiple teams that have said they changed their whole signs. So you can't even factor this sign stealing into certain games because teams could kind of abreast to it and just change the sign.
Changing signs in a week is probably not that simple, and it could cause your playbook to get a little shortened, cause some confusion. No. I mean, these are college kids, not pros.
Not for an Ohio State level program, because those teams, if you don't have multiple signs, then you're just in dipshit, because that's like college football. Like, Ryan Day accused Clemson of stealing signs in playoff games already before. Like, it's just something like Brett Venables used to steal signs.
I'm not saying people don't steal signs. My next question would be, if Michigan did this, did they do anything else? Because what's going to happen if all the Michigan fans that were bitching a week ago that saying that the NCAA was out to get them, they're just looking into this because Michigan got good, blah, 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 and now it's intricate. If you thought that was a witch hunt, now there will be one. They will be looking for more than this, and you better hope nothing else comes out.
The witch hunt they still can be true. It's still a person they do not like in general.
No, because he lies to their face. And I hate the NCAA. I'm not a fan of him.
Because he openly has like shit on all their policies through his time as an NCAA coach. Like, from the moment he stepped in at Michigan back in 2015, he started doing satellite camps to piss them off. He said these people need to be paid. Like, he's constantly been a prick to them, which is his own prerogative.
Probably blatantly lied last week about knowing, because it's pretty clear that a guy with a $55,000 salary is getting reimbursed by Michigan. Because if you're going 50-yard line in these games and that we don't know. There's just no chance in hell. These are expensive tickets.
Yeah, there's a good chance. More people knew about it. What I am upset at as a fan is not like the effect it had on field. I just think that's second. I'm mad at what it'll probably lead to, which is Harbaugh ultimately leaving. Like, for the Michigan fans,
not signed.
There's a big contingent of them right now that are in the coping stage and denial stage of grief, that are saying, oh, this could be a loophole that they had found in the rules, because it's such a gray area with you're paying random people to go to games to send you videos, not people on your staff. The NCAA is not they're gonna penalize them. They're not gonna be like, oh, you know what, in the court, like, Michigan took us to the brink and you're right, there's a loophole. Like, no, there's enough evidence. They messed up. They're going to be punishments. That's why I'm upset at. I just don't want to see this program Jim Harbaugh, if he was like 55-45 NFL, he's probably like 75-25 now because they're probably going to try to suspend him for a year or something crazy. Like they're probably going to come down, probably scholarship limits because the Patriots got a first pick taken away. And if you think about cap and roster management, they'll probably limit scholarships, which is a really harsh penalty because recruiting and scholarships is everything in college football. So that'll probably happen. I'm all speculating, but that's where my mind went, is that doomsday of like, Grant, savor this season because it might get really dark really fast, because if he leaves, JJ leaves, and you get slapped with a bunch of sanctions, that can set a program back like 5 years. If it's as bad as
you
like,
could be staring down the barrel of a 4-8 year next year, depending on how things go.
With the schedule as well. And I'd trade that right now for a natty. Like, that's where we're at. That's why this year has become even more important.
Do you think as more of this continues to come out during the year, that it might eventually have an effect on the players and the coaches and the team?
I don't know. I don't think so.
As we've said many times, these are college kids, and they're looking at social media.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it might spurn them. Like, the Astros are another team. Patriots been accused of this. The Astros, when it came out, they went and won the World Series either the next year or the year after. Like, they just, with no sign stealing. So I think like it can be something that just galvanizes, and you just, I want to go prove the whole sport wrong, that we don't even need the signs now because Connor's not showing up to the PSU OSU game with his buddies or the people that he sent. Like, they're just like, we'll just beat you without them.
There's going to be a lot of bad blood in the
do.
Final game of the season.
The whole thing is dumb. I'm not so much worried about the NCAA. I'm worried about the Big Ten. I've been kind of getting into the weeds with that, whereas the NCAA is so laughable and a joke, and their whole organization is falling apart and they don't have as much power. But the Big Ten was in on this as well and had released statements the first week. The Big Ten could be a problem.
Evan,
your thoughts on the matter? Or any questions?
Any questions?
Any thoughts? Anything?
Or anything.
He's the enemy here.
No, we're all fans of college football.
I mean, I have a lot, but I'm on the other spectrum because it's not happening to my team. I think, obviously, the 1994 rule was in place for a reason. I think it's still in place for a reason. Okay? The whole scouting thing, if you want to sit there and scout, fine, have at it, go ahead. But the whole scouting thing that they're talking about, it's not scouting. It's filming illegally signs of sidelines. That is in the rules multiple times. It states you cannot film the sideline of any signals by a coach, anybody on the sideline. Multiple times. That's my biggest takeaway.
My only pushback to that, Evan, and I do agree why they'd put that in place, but it's a flimsy rule. And I don't think anyone would do this, but with how technology has advanced, they couldn't have predicted this in 1994.
I agree.
Remember, we saw that lady, I was thinking about this after, that she was just going to Instagram Live for the intros.
Yes.
And like she was like Instagram living half the game. And I was like, maybe she was a Michigan spy as a joke. But my point of the matter is that there's nothing that can stop someone. Like, what if I was just a psycho fan and I went to an opposing game and I filmed the sideline and I just uploaded a 2-hour copy to YouTube and I emailed it to Connor Stallions and I was like, don't know how I got this. Here you go. Like, with YouTube, like,
there'd be copyright infringements on your thing. Would probably get shut down.
Yes, potentially. But I see your point. Like, the filming the signs, I do agree with that. I just think, like, people could be doing it. Like, people probably have been doing it in other ways. It's just so how dumb that they went about it.
I just find it hilarious that Michigan fans will just act like, oh, since they broke the rule is bad, instead of accepting an ounce of accountability. When I watch their Walmart Wolverine fans constantly tell my program to accept accountability for what happened last year and accept accountability for Mel Tucker and Larry Nassar and everything else that's ever happened to us, even though it's not even directly related to football. And then when Michigan breaks a rule, a blatant stated rule that everybody can read, everybody knows you're supposed to follow, and they break it, and it's, oh, the rule's dumb. No accountability. I think it's hilarious. And I'm not even saying it's you, Grant.
Because there's a blue wall.
But it's very, to put it lightly, that we can just act like the rule shouldn't exist because we're Michigan and we're better than you. That's how it feels. and I didn't want to get all upset about it.
know
But
you're not.
Michigan State just takes so much abuse in the media for everything, and then Michigan does something wrong, and it's like, oh, bad rule. Like, it's just so stupid.
Well, my only 2 points. I know you're not talking to me because I'm taking accountability. I realize that most likely, if they find the video of these people saying to Connor, they cheated. You can't take signs with video, so they cheated. I take that. I do think it's a stupid rule. If any team got in trouble with this, if this was Ohio State and Michigan State, I would just be like, we have to be better. I maybe I'm rose-colored glasses. Maybe I'm wrong. If you guys were fans of Michigan State, I would feel the same way as me.
Would take if they did this would be unbelievable.
No, I'm saying I would hope you guys, if you had won the championships, you'd be like, it doesn't take it away. I wouldn't.
Yeah, no, I'm not even.
Like,
I'm not disagreeing with your point of view. I'm just disappointed that Michigan fans act just so high and mighty about everything, and then when they do things wrong, it's still they find a way to be. Oh, there's nothing wrong with this, and I can give thousands of examples.
But also
thousands.
Alex, not to bring it to our fantasy football league, this behavior that they did. It kind of like me and you.
And I get abused, and then there's a new rule. So, I mean,
we're trying to find the gray areas. They're trying to pay other people not on staff to go to games to do it.
Except Connor Stallions is on staff, and he went and he violated rules, and it's clear as day.
He did not go. Connor Stallions did not.
He
go
never
to
went to a single game.
That correct. He has a sideline role on Michigan sideline. He is at Michigan games.
It says he's paid for multiple games.
He buys the tickets and he transfers them via StubHub to his vast network of spies that don't work for Michigan to go do this for him.
My point is that
that's the loophole they're trying to get.
The high and mighty bullshit
is what Michigan fans are clinging on to.
Pompous ass university is. I've had enough of it. Take accountability. Be like, "Yep, we cheated," and move on.
We did cheat.
Also, there's
not you, Rand.
Go ahead, Evan. You finish.
The other 75% of morons.
There's also this whole Harbaugh didn't know, but it's also the Rick Pitino rule. Like, if you didn't know,
he did.
I'm saying even if Jim Harbaugh didn't know, there is a rule in NCAA for all sports. It's the governing body rule. Like, you are in charge of your program, and you have to basically know everything, or it's like failure.
It's an indictment on the leader of Michigan if he doesn't know that they're cheating. And that should be on him, and that should be on the entire program. But not surprising, Jeff Jackson.
Did you have
there's
more?
Plenty of reasons that Michigan should get away with this.
I don't think people are pretending that
you don't think that
70%
of this Michigan Walmart fan base thinks that the rule is just stupid.
70 is a little high, Alex.
No, like the Walmart. Yeah,
I watched NBC tell me that the rule is dumb and that Michigan should not get in trouble for it.
Because it's a stupid rule.
But you broke it.
Point blank.
And you got caught for it. That's where
I don't think the rule's dumb.
You got caught.
There's other ways to scout.
Other teams are not. I mean,
Grant, I do agree with you that they did not predict the education and the vast
the way Michigan went about doing it, such an elaborate scheme.
There's other ways you can scout. If you're looking at just break down film. You're watching film. Granted, a lot of teams nowadays have the whole I'm going to hold up ginormous ass bed sheets over the coaches giving signals. However, but if you're on the other sideline and you're going across the sideline, you scout the games that they're on the away side and the TV cameras going down on them. There's ways that when you get film, you can still look at the sideline and somewhat try to pick out what they're calling.
Sending minions to the game to record the other sideline's entire game is absurd.
The recording part is the part the rule of that you can't in-person scout is so antiquated.
That's not what I'm talking about.
And it's just college football.
I'm talking about filming from the 50-yard line at 30 games or whatever it was. I mean
and that the one guy didn't put his phone down of the entire game.
That's absurd.
The fact of buying tickets for the home and away sideline.
I don't know what storage that guy has on his phone. I was thinking that.
And if these are people in his military spy network, who knows what other gadgets they're using? Could be getting sound.
I mean, the operation is absolutely sick. And if I was a fan of opposing team, I'd be like, damn, I wish my team was going that hard. That's me defending them. But they're gonna get they cheated.
They deserve to.
Get in trouble.
is what I want.
Lake.
I want Michigan fans to realize
I agree.
that they deserve to be in trouble.
But the rule is stupid. The rule is just antiquated. I should say that. Like I told Evan at Spartan Stadium, the fact that they don't have radios in college football helmets at this point is so stupid.
Yes.
It's
quarterbacks
beyond ridiculous. It eliminates all of this. You don't have to do it. I read an article talking about the history of sign stealing. Part of the reason why our college coaches have pushed back on the radio because they want the ability to steal signs because they know
it could be a massive advantage.
And they don't want to get because radios and helmets are not expensive. Any school could get them. They're not.
I don't think anyone
hard.
was thinking that the reason was money. We're talking about $1 billion, quadrillion.
I wondered because there's 133 teams compared to 32 in the NFL.
There would be some schools that couldn't, some conferences that couldn't have it. But the day that Michigan or Ohio State has it in their helmets, the day that the rest of the Big Ten gets it because it's a competitive advantage.
They'd have to do it. Yeah, they have to do it.
The NCAA would have to make a rule probably for it.
But it's wild to me. Like what I would do at Park Tudor is illegal in college football. That makes no sense. We would go to other games
did it as
that
freshmen
we were playing the next week and write down the signs. It's crazy, though, that in college football, in NFL, you can go to other games and scout. You can't take videos like the Pats, but you can go scout. It's just crazy that is illegal, that you can't go attend a game.
You're deflecting from the point of Michigan's
but still,
elaborate scandal to get to the 50-yard line of every game and record the other sidelines for the entire game is bananas.
Yeah, if you have the means to do it, like I understand they shot their shot, they cheated. I agree, but the rule is antiquated.
Scouting games should not be illegal.
It's
recording sidelines for a whole game is crazy. But fine.
Transfer portal era. Like we just took Jack Tuttle and AJ Barner. You don't think they could walk in and say this is what Indiana does? Teams have to change their signs all the time. It's insane.
It's different though. It's not the same thing.
But it is because like I feel like the reactions of some people being like maybe they're hyperbole, but like this is a disgusting act
only
for
thing
the sport
that
of a black eye. It's like not that. This
is my thing, Grant. The only
it's not that big
disgusting thing about it is that it's still going on. Like they had
the fact they had tickets for the game this week.
We were ready for that.
But two is that's
why they did it fast.
That just proved that they are doing the in-person scouting like every single week of that season that they're scouting and trying to steal signs.
Mm-hmm.
Barner coming in and Tuttle coming in. Obviously, you would hope if Indiana has any common sense in that coaching staff, they don't because Tom Allen's their head coach. They would change a couple signs. They had a new offense coordinator come in, so all the signs are probably completely different anyways. But from week 10 to week 11, signs aren't changing that much. No matter what program it is.
And like I said earlier, it's not that easy to just change all your signs in a week. Like, these are kids that are not going to be able to process that much information.
The college athletes on the field could probably get the signs, but now you have to rely on 3 grad assistants to call in the correct different sign from that week that you've only given them 4 days to prep for.
This is not the NFL.
Yeah. I mean,
NFL's a business. Those people are paid to do that. These grad assistants are just doing it.
No, the college football is a professional sport at this point. There's no excuses for like
the athletes.
It's just kids.
I would argue the support staff of a college football team versus the support staff of an NFL team.
Maybe a grad assistant, but the men in charge, Ross Allen's making $500K. It's a professional sport. He's money. A clown. And he makes that much money.
Yeah,
correct.
We're not talking about.
But we're talking about the stakes, especially the high end. Like the big games, like Ohio State bitching about it is a joke because you can't tell me that Urban Meyer and Ryan Day didn't have Don Brown's whole defense.
Well, everybody did because everybody knows what Don Brown does. Blitz everybody, play man defense, and get burnt over the top. Anybody could have played offense against them, Grant. Rocky Lombardi.
If you're telling me
anybody could play,
they're going to get in trouble because they're stupid and got caught. But I'm not going to sit here and feel bad because I know Michigan's probably got with their signs being stolen. And Jim was like, you know what? I'm tired of losing, going 2-4 with Joe Millen. We're just going to hire.
That's not even what this is about. The military this is about taking accountability for what you did, and it's not for what you did. And I'm talking about Michigan. Yeah, when I say you, I'm talking about Michigan. I'm talking about Jim blatantly lying to everybody last week and said he didn't know about any of this going on, and none of this would ever happen in his high and mighty program. But he's a lying piece of shit, and that's where we're at with it. Because he's just never going to admit that he thinks he's better than the NCAA, which sure he probably is because the NCAA is corrupt. The NCAA does suck. But some accountability is all I'm asking from
Grant, I have a question.
Program.
I have a real...
I want to say this. He probably knew. But again, innocent.
And if he didn't, other people did, and he should have.
And he'll still get in trouble for it because it's his program. Like I said, there's a rule written for this example. Maybe it was Matt Weiss. He's a scumbag. And
then maybe Michigan should have told everyone what he did and got fired for.
Maybe it was Don Thomas.
Oh, computer crimes. We'll never know. Blue Wall covered that one up.
Grant, do you
I have a question?
Grant, do you want to know the assistant coaches that like talk to him, that talk to this Connor Stallions guy? Do you want to know like the direct order of line, or would you rather just have it never come out and did you just
don't worry, Evan? The Blue Wall protect.
We're fucked anyways.
I think I want all the details. The articles are fascinating to read.
Oh yeah,
like just the details. I don't care.
I think ESPN's better than the FBI. They come out with so much so fast.
Because Pete Thamel like is a really good at his job. State.
Dan Murphy's a piece of shit.
Murphy.
Also, Stuart Mandel. There's a couple national reporters that have been making my list.
Welcome,
this was before.
Welcome
this
to the
stuff.
You know what it's like to be abused by the national media.
Stuart Mandel just taking victory laps last week on Harbaugh after like nothing was. Because last week was ridiculous. There was no evidence. This article, like I said, changes things because there's a smoking gun and they'll get in trouble if they find out he had all those videos on his computer. But I will say this. I'm pretty sure if those videos aren't on his computer, I don't know if he can get in that much trouble because it was no one on staff.
If you delete evidence, I mean, that's a massive red flag.
How they find
paper trail, Grant.
I'm just saying. Tom Brady. Remember Tom Brady's phone broke? Tom Brady's phone broke during Deflategate.
And they suspended Tom Brady.
Yeah, now look how shitty the Patriots are.
Yeah. I don't know. Do I want to know? I don't know because that means they.
I want Michigan to eat
popcorn.
I do. I'm not.
I want to be eating popcorn, sitting in a lawn chair, and drinking beer, reading an article of telling.
I want to know every inch
of
it. And if Michigan comes out and they didn't even do anything wrong, then I'd be happy to be like, yeah, then they don't deserve anything.
Okay, Grant. Second question. Okay, since he is the sign stealing leader of his minions, and he's a minion to somebody else. There's also, I read in the very first article that came out about the sign stealing that he is seen on the sidelines next to the defensive coordinators. Does he have?
Yeah, no.
Does he have
he has a binder.
What's in that binder?
The calls, but that's the thing though. Stealing signs in game,
yes, illegal. But he already knows what the signs are
in game.
So he's just going
right. Okay, but what he's doing on the sideline,
that's that.
What he's doing on the sideline is not illegal. How he's getting that information is what's being decided.
We know
I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you.
I mean, he's helping them, but there's teams change their signs. I'm sure there's some games where he's like, "Oh yeah, they're doing exactly what I saw." And there's some like, "Oh, I can't help you. I can't help you." What's
this
his name? Jesse Minter.
Jay Johnson's had the same signs for the last 3 years. Guys, we don't need this.
There's probably somewhere it's a layup.
My take is somewhere. My final take is that Michigan kind of, because there's no doubt in my mind that this guy did not just.
Oh my God, rogue. Alex! I just thought of the biggest stat that we should look at. Biggest stat. Continue.
Sorry,
I just thought of the biggest stat we should look at.
Hold your thoughts
in my brain.
So
I will.
Obviously, he's being directed by someone to do this. We assume he could be a crazy person.
I want to know who it is.
Let me finish.
No way
there's a chance though.
No,
there's a chance that he didn't. He's just doing this on his own and not telling anybody about it. I'm going to go pretty highly unlikely there.
Okay, 0.5%.
So in my head, someone is telling him what to do. Now, Connor Stallions is his massive scapegoat. Who knows if he can get a job now? You know, he's like getting publicly bashed in the media, blah, blah, blah.
High school football.
Someone from the NCAA sits down with him, interrogates him, like this scary NCAA is, and he's just like,
he better die for the shield.
Yep. Jim knew everything. He's just going to just be like, yeah, they f me over. I'm going to f him over. And he might just fully give out all the information. No. And that's what I'd be worried about as a Michigan fan, is that you put his public name out there. You let Matt Weiss have his, like, he just fade off into the distance, but not Connor Stallions. You guys let him go to the ground, and he could just be like, you know what, Michigan, what they did to me, they only paid me $55,000 a year.
Absolutely not.
I am not dying for the shield. I am giving up the information, and then you guys are.
You're so off on this, Alex. That kid.
I haven't heard him talk.
Michigan. He was an
or anything about him.
He was an unpaid. He was an unpaid volunteer for 5 years. He's Tom Wamsgams in Succession. Jim sat with him and just said, "Hey, buddy, you're going to jail. I'm sorry, but you're the guy." And he's like, "Yes, sir."
Yeah,
Dad."
but even
And
Tom turned.
he will not rap.
And Tom became the guy.
Oh, spoilers.
Well, Connor could become the guy. Marissa said, "Did you hear that? Is there a knock at the door? Am I being too loud?"
I did
again?
get heated there.
Oh, Marissa just heard a girl's voice, bloody murder, screaming.
She's probably getting tickled. Let's move on.
What?
Well, I need to know your take.
Get
Well,
my take.
consent
I need to
something-
know these stats. Well,
Oh
Grant
my
is-
God!
I'm more
Wilkins
intrigued about
said
the
something
Grant situation.
interesting.
What?
I don't.
Hey, Chase Evans, December 30th, 2022. December 31st, 2022.
The recruiting interns
Georgia.
were his minions. I don't know. I don't know what to take from that. I don't know what
That's
to
such
put
a
together.
reach. He could have paid him for like a burger.
Well,
or
December
something.
30th, and the description is Georgia. If that's the case, Connor Stallings might be the dumbest person on the planet. If you just Venmo someone with description
fully-
Georgia, and it's about
It's just GA.
Well,
It's
Alex-
just GA position.
Alex, he bought the tickets
Under his
in his
name.
own name.
Yeah, he
and
is
on his
stupid.
LinkedIn it says my specialty is deciphering opponents and like attacking
is
their
stupid.
weaknesses.
That's why maybe you can get him to crack in an interrogation room. That's what I would do if I was the NCAA. I would hammer that guy. I would make him tell me. I've been watching too much Suits.
Chase Evans is still on staff.
Wait a
Or
second.
he's fired.
If you look at a person that will squeal, that kid will
The
squeal.
recruiting interns, you can get to say whatever. You better hope. You better hope, Grant. The program's about to
I'm
die.
reading, Cam is the big one in the chat that's pushing the narrative that there's a loophole.
Yeah,
Oh, Cam, don't be
classic
that
Michigan
guy.
fans trying to get out of
So
it.
he sent us an he
No
sent us an
accountability.
article,
That's exactly
so
what I'm talking
trying
about.
to dive in to see if there's
Just be
anything.
like, yep, let's win a national
Well, how
championship
pissed-
this year. That I can respect.
Can we talk about this? Can we talk about this though? How pissed would you guys and the rest of college football be if it turned out that they did skate the rules in a gray area and they really can't be punished because they got out of it? Like, what if they cracked it?
I'd just chalk. I mean, I don't even wouldn't even need the reason. I would just chalk it up to the blue wall.
The blue wall took over the NCAA
probably.
and Big Ten.
Michigan slime balls and all types
Well,
of
if that
organizations.
if that kid technically is one of the interns, then they're because he's a recruiting intern.
Yes. Yes.
I
Agreed.
don't see how Michigan gets off, but find out.
Well, the hard part is there's so many of them. Like these are, I was reading, someone said they're level 2 violations, so bowl bans cannot come from those, and like vacated wins don't come from level 2 violations. But there's 30 of them, so I don't know.
I
how,
think
like, does
also
30
it's
level
just going to
2s
spark an
equal.
investigation into more, and you might just find
What else could they find? They already found recruiting. They found this.
in Michigan's program. Who knows?
This was 100% though. NCAA did not look for this. This got brought to the NCAA's door. This was the Big Ten teams bitching and putting together their case.
Which, if you can't beat them, turn them in.
You know how cool it would be though to like be a like what if it was someone that worked in like ticketing for one of these schools? Like imagine cracking the case.
I
Like,
actually
it's
thought
it's
about
that
this the
scene
other
from
day.
Always Sunny where he's got
So
the board up and they call Iowa and they're like, has a Connor Stallions came to your game? And they're like, yep, in 2011. And then they call the other school like, has a Connor Stallions came to your game? He's like, yep.
Evan, you didn't say what we need to look up, but
You guys were going on a tangent.
What's
What's
the stat?
the biggest stat of all time? What is Michigan's stats versus first-time offensive coordinators over the last like 3 years? Like brand new offensive coordinators, either in the first half or that game. What made me think about it was, last year, Michigan struggled in one big game. Well, it wasn't a big game, but they struggled mightily against Illinois. Brand new coaching staff.
interesting.
They struggled the first couple of years against Ohio State. And Ryan Day. Ryan Day's been there for a while. Okay, same.
And they
Same
didn't get
stuff.
to go to the Ohio State Penn State game, so they might not have much on Brian Hartline.
Brian Hartline, next Michigan State football head coach.
Offensive coordinator.
So, first time facing Jay Johnson.
5 touchdowns.
Second time, technically. First time you started cheating, boom, 5 touchdowns.
Actually,
Every
we
year
beat
after
them
that?
the first 2 times Jay was there.
Only one. Only
Jay started
one.
2-0 against Michigan. That is embarrassing.
That's a better rule, Evan, than the stat. And the people have been doing the first and second half stat, and I just don't think that
teams
makes any
just make
sense. It's
adjustments
science
at half,
stealing.
so,
the
like,
second half.
That's been happening to us.
Yeah.
Since
And some
football
coaching
was
staffs are
created.
And the
just
way
better
it-
than other staffings.
Yeah, not a thing.
Fun fact about this stupid rule, and another reason I'll pound the drum, is that the NCAA almost overturned this rule to like 2 years ago. They almost just got rid of
It's
it.
more so about
'Cause they're
how
like, this is
elaborate
stupid.
Michigan's
In-person
scheme
scouting
was.
or videotaping the sidelines?
They said the minimal competitive advantage gained by scouting future opponents in person is outweighed by the monitoring and enforcement burdens of ensuring compliance
Okay,
with the legislation.
You're talking about
That's what their
scouting
case
games.
was.
We're not going to keep going on this. This is the last thing. You're talking about scouting games. We're talking about recording sidelines. It's a little different. It's more like Spygate
But
than it is scouting
the wide
games.
shot of the wide shot of an all 22 usually has it. You can see
Not
the whole
facing
sideline
them.
from that.
These people are just facing the other sideline, recording like this.
Depends on what
They
angle,
bought
though.
tickets
But,
at the
like,
47
NFL all
between
22
the 47 and 47 yard line of every game. High enough to
High
see.
enough, huh?
Yeah,
High enough.
to see everything. Don't just accept.
But it's not like it's
accept
cracking the Da
accountability,
Vinci
Grant.
Code.
Don't make me lump you
Yeah, and
with the
they
Walmarts.
they broke an outdated rule.
Even you have to spin it in some way to make
They
it feel
did not
better.
break an outdated rule. The rule is in place on purpose. You cannot record sidelines, Grant.
Sideline
Evan, they almost
recording
got
is
rid of
not
it, though.
scouting.
That's the crazy
No, they
thing.
almost got rid of in-person scouting. The whole
That's scouting.
It's not scouting.
you cannot
scouting you.
record sidelines.
I'm scouting you.
I'm sure you can't record sidelines in the NFL.
I'm sure you can.
All right, this is the loophole.
I think if
for
Jay
you
Johnson tried to record
conspiracies
sidelines,
out
it still
there.
wouldn't help.
Agreed.
Well,
Defense.
it really only helps the
Which
defense.
Michigan's had a
it doesn't really
meteoric
help an
rise,
offense.
which
I don't
doesn't
think
even
that
matter
much.
what defensive coordinator it is. They've just been great.
It was Aiden Hutchinson.
I'm not even saying it's wild. Like, Michigan's still a good
Um,
team, and I'm not like taking that away from them. I'm just taking away the fact that they've
That's
cheated.
what I'm trying to say.
And your piece of shit fans need to know that. And I'm assuming that this part of the conversation is not on the record anymore because I've said some mean things about them.
Yeah, I mean, I'll cut out parts and I'll bleep some. The bylaw that is in question here is that there's no clarity on who is allowed to be in-person scouting.
Can we stop saying in-person scouting?
I'm not arguing that. I am arguing that you cannot film illegally the other
That is
sidelines
what
for signals
we're
and
talking
transferring
about.
them on film and giving them to coaching staffs to cheat.
I agree. But the thing with Michigan's case is they have to find they're supposed to be getting that
Of who the
video.
other guys.
This week.
The article says that they're supposed to be getting the video of a person sitting there from a stadium doing this, but they have to prove that that video went to.
It did. You kidding me?
Well, he got the ticket from Connor, so I don't know what
Like
else
this-
they're going to
yeah.
do with it. 3 hours of game film? What is that guy
Grant,
going to do
there's
with
no
it?
actual way that Michigan can get out of it because they did it. They did it.
Oh, I'm telling you,
and it was sent.
you
And if
better
they
just-
get out of it, it's absolutely an inside job.
No, or it's you in fantasy football. They found a loophole. They did an
No,
IR
because
spot.
Connor Stallions works for the team, and he
They found
definitely
a
gave it
broke-
to coaching members. He did. Don't
We don't know that yet.
lie, Grant. He did.
No, but they have to prove that.
Sure, they do, and they will. And then
Right
the
now,
Blue
it's
Wall
just
will
Pete
pretend
Thamel.
that nothing happened. We'll never see another thing about it, and we'll be like 2 years from now. Wait, what happened to the sign stealing thing?
No, the Blue Wall.
It exists everywhere in this country, Grant. Everywhere. The national
national
NBC
reporters right now?
News broadcast blew their load about it.
Hey, Alex,
Don't
those are not
don't
reporters.
include-
Those are entertainers.
don't include
They don't
Dan
know anything
Murphy.
about football.
No one likes him.
But Thamel, Stuart Mandel, Pat Ford, they're not holding Michigan's water at all. Yeah, he's shit
It's on
on Michigan
everybody.
this weekend.
You might as well be Dan Dockich.
I'm just saying. The only person that had our back, though, was Paul Feinbaum. That was crazy that Paul Feinbaum
The
had
SEC
Michigan's
is
back in
dirty.
all this.
That's why.
That was stunning. But he hates Harbaugh. He's made for Harbaugh for
Why
a
wouldn't he?
decade. Oh, We've gone too long here, but that's probably what the people wanted. They probably wanted that last segment.
I just want people. I want accountability. That's it.
I want an NCAA investigation into every program in the country on what they're doing with signs. I want a level playing field.
We're not stealing signs here.
Classic. Deflect and put it on other programs.
You guys
that
are
is
in
a
the
good
clean.
one. That's a good tactic.
Drive past East Lansing.
Let's open up Washington.
Good tactic.
Let's see what
Pretend
Taylor
that
DeBoer is
it's
running
not
over
you,
there.
it's
Let's
someone
open up
else.
Everyone. Dan Lanning.
Look, Dan Lanning looks like a cheater if I've ever seen one. I'll be honest.
Dan Lanning's.
He looks like a guy that
He
cheats.
started a low-level GA.
It
Evan.
feels
He's
like
seen
Dan
everything
Lanning's on a
throughout
Mel
the
Tucker
program.
trajectory.
But Dan Lanning is so like analytical
so.
that he might not be cheating. He just looks at a bunch of stats and was like, "Well, this is what I'm supposed to do."
Dan Lanning and Mel Tucker have very similar career paths, people.
Also, should
Dan
we really
Lanning
just be
has one of
asking
these Mel
questions? Is Wyatt a bad fan for not pulling a Connor Stalions for Ohio State? Why isn't he capable? He has a military background.
Not yet. He's got to get out, and then Ryan Day's got to hire him. Why could do it for Michigan State when Brian Hartline's the head coach here?
OC Evan. He'll be head coach when Urban gives it to him in
My
5
last
years.
thing. What I actually think happened
it'd
is
be
I
worth
think
the wait.
Connor probably did start this himself because he
He's a
was afraid to
freak.
get a job in coaching. And then I do think the coaches started to figure out how is this guy so good at this, and they probably knew then. But I don't think it was like someone high up being like, Connor, you're going to do exactly this. I think during his volunteer years, there's no way they keep him around as a volunteer for 5 years doing all that. Like he probably was like, I can do this for you.
There's no doubt he was probably a
And
psycho
then
about
I
it,
don't know
but
how.
like Michigan
I
for
don't
sure
think so.
told him
I
to
don't
do
think
it.
that guy.
Like you think it was like
Yes.
You think like it was
Jim?
Jim sought him
No.
out and was like, you're going to do this.
But someone went to Jim and was like, hey, I think we should do this. And Jim's like, yeah, do it if we can help us. And then blah, 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 told blah, 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 told blah, blah, blah. And they're like, let's find some moron on this staff who will do literally this is literally what they did. They're like, let's find the dumbest person here to do this so that if we do get caught, this moron goes down and we're fine. Because the NCAA would be like, this guy's so dumb that there's no way Michigan knew anything about it. And Grant, it's even tricked you because now you think that he is just so stupid that he would just do whatever for Michigan because he just loves them so much. You're already brainwashed by it.
No, because he was a Twitter
It's all part of the plan.
fanboy.
Find the
Like,
dumbest
down
person
bad
on staff and make him do it so that people like you are like, oh yeah, he just didn't know any better. He just wanted to help. And that's what's happening. And you're falling for it.
No, I'm saying he won't rat them out. He won't rat them
He
out.
will if the NCAA offers him a settlement.
He's gonna make him squeal.
All right.
I would.
That's the show.
If I've ever seen a squeal.
Off the record.
Cheers to episode
I think Ohio State would.
Cheers
138.
to another
Cheers
national media
to
member.
High school playoff starting.
Wow. To another national media
Nice.
member leaving AJ Hogarth off a top 20 point guard list.
Yeah.